out in the world, along city streets, or even at your local park, you may have noticed a considerable number of benches. What you don't know is that for every bench, a selection of gentlemen are chosen to sit upon them. These gentlemen must put their respective benches to the test by sitting, drinking, and most importantly, talking complete and utter shit. Until now, these specialists and their conversations have been hidden behind their phones, and in rare circumstances, assorted newspapers. For the first time, you have the privilege to listen to these gentlemen do what they do best. Sit back, open a brewski, and enjoy.
But within this podcast, we're talking about all the different characters that we came up with. However, where do we start with it? Because in the last one, there was a little Easter egg.
There was.
Said, if you were listening carefully, you would have heard us talking about a certain elevator. But before that elevator, there was a certain moment with the same characters. And this is where this story begins. So for this character, we had to come up with little group projects to discuss his presentations. And oh boy, this character, let's tell it. Just comes waltzing in, blue hair, makeup done to the max, everything. It was nasty to look at, put it that way. There was so much makeup.
No.
It wasn't because he was you, it was because of the makeup that was on. It was like that much.
I looked beautiful.
Radiating sass and ass. Sassy ass. There we go.
There we go, that's going with it.
So do you want to take it from right from that first presentation all the way up to The Adventures of Dr. A?
Oh my god, we're going all the way, are we?
Is that what you want to do? Is this what you want to do, Beckett?
If we can, or if we have to split up over two.
No, we don't split things up over two in here. We do it properly, or we don't do it at all.
Yeah, there's that.
So if we're starting with Tallulah, I guess you boys got to take it. So 3 of us were studying TV and film in college. We were given some fucking presentation to do. The presentation had absolutely nothing to do with like a previously done film, had it? Like nothing that we'd made. It was just something randomly obscure.
Was it the first time we had? So when I think back to college, right? This might be planting the seed for several different episodes down the line. But when I think about like the projects and things we did during the start of that like first semester, it all comes down to those trailers we did. That seems to be the catalyst of like when we came up with the ideas which we came up with, which will be discussed in this episode.
See, I don't remember if they were. I know that we did horror. Don't know if they all had to be horror.
They didn't.
To be.
One of the I seem to remember like one of the complaints which our of then blue-haired friend said, it's how I am. This is going to be great. It's going to be great because when we start like referring to actual people and dancing around their names, I have to like.
Wait. Our of then blue-haired friend.
Yes.
Are you on about Tallulah?
No.
There's someone else.
No. The camera operator. Let's refer to her as camera operator. Cinematographer.
I don't know. You're on about.
For the best. Keep it like that.
Cousin.
What? Sorry.
One of the cousins.
Yes.
Right.
One of
Yeah.
them.
She was complaining about the fact that like everyone's ideas were so
What?
unoriginal because everyone came up with.
Hold on, Scott. She never complained. What are you on about? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. She was.
Sure you were there for that day.
She was. I think that she was probably like the realest person in the entire class. So like she said everything.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
How she saw it. She was the rock to everything. I think it like because the best way I can describe like how our group went on, how our then forming group of lads and laddies went on was being high but without the drugs, and
Speak for yourself.
well, as time went on during that first year, things just started to feel less and less real, but it got better because of that. Like shit just broke down. I feel like that reality, like it got weird. I've had one can.
With a weird face shift.
No, I get. I get what you mean.
I have to reassure people.
I think, like she would
Probably
just
a
say
bit
it, like she would just say it how it is, and she wouldn't let you take the piss. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So you got to
I
respect
mean,
that, really.
absolutely. I mean, when you think about like it's the impression which people get from a distance to when you actually meet them. I mean, I was completely, I am very, very, very oblivious to the human race until like someone's actually in my face, and then I'm there talking to them because I am shit at first impressions. I literally, I will. It's not that I can't read people. It's that I don't acknowledge anyone's existence unless they are interacting with me. Like if I had like the worst high school bully I had was one of my mates, and that's because I knew who they were, and I'm sure like there was much worse shit that happened back then, as happens to a lot of people in high school. But I do not remember anyone's names, their faces, because I didn't talk to any of them. I didn't acknowledge any of them. So when you talk to like a friend of a friend, or when you are in a classroom and you hear people talking about someone that you know,
Yeah.
it for me, it always feels a bit weird because it's like they have no idea what the fuck they're on about. But I'm sure that's the same for all of us. I mean,
a weird
when
moment to be in.
yeah, I mean, like when we all met, it was more of a I want to say spontaneous. I don't remember the time between when we were in class and we didn't know each other. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I can't remember the time after. Like I remember when I first was in class at college, but I don't remember the time in between when we did and didn't know each other. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it might be a bit different for you guys because you were level 2 together, weren't you? Or some of you were at least.
I went straight to level 3.
Oh, did you?
I had a year in sixth form, half a year in another college, and then I had half a year working somewhere else, and then I went over. So I had about like I want to say like around about a year break for everything because I kept restarting things.
Right.
It's why I'm like 2 or 3 years older than everyone else, but no one realised. I'm your puppy.
I was doing voices
bro,
left and right. I
everybody
was.
realised, bro.
Speaking of way was the
I
beard.
I was there, like I was a teenager, and you were rocking up with a full ass beard and that. Bro, people realised.
And
I
then when
was
he shaved it off every now and then,
you
it's like,
always
who the hell is this guy?
you always dressed like night, like you always had like a shirt and that on, and like these fancy shoes and that.
It's
I was like,
fancy
yeah,
shoes.
he's definitely no, he's
Street
definitely
his
no
farmer's hat.
18-year-old. He's not
I
17.
Mate, I was growing facial hair when I was like 12. Okay, I had this weird. I was there like screaming in a mirror, going, "What the fuck is happening? What's shaving? What the fuck am I doing with my life?"
I was like I was like the tallest out of all of us, but I was there like proper baby face, like no stubble or anything. Like I was the youngest by a couple years, when Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Beckett, how old are you now? You're like, what, 23?
Thinking,
Pardon?
yep.
23?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you would have been, what, like 19 then? I was
Jesus
17.
Christ.
Give or take.
Oh my god, bro, I feel so old now. Like, it feels so long ago now, doesn't it?
Mate, 2 years' time, I'm going to be in my mid-20s, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot to, like, you know, when you compare it to, like, your parents' lives and all that sort of stuff, but saying that, like, I'm turning 24 next year is this really creepy thing in the back of my mind now. Like, I didn't give a shit about age. You turn 20, and then your mind's just like, it is what it is, isn't it? And then you turn 21, and it's like for a second you manage to freeze time, and then you can do whatever you want. You know, the world is paused, and you're running around, and you're taking the piss out of everything. And then all of a second, the clock goes forward by 1 minute, and you go, shit. Like, the
Everything's
spell
gone
is
down.
broken. Yeah.
Oh, bro, you know what? I am scared of getting older, bro. I'll tell you that now. I always get like so like apathetic and like depressed around my birthday. Like when you're a kid, it's like a joyous celebration. Like,
As
oh, I'm
years
almost
go
big
on, it's
now.
like,
And now I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm getting old. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah,
I should be a billionaire by now.
well, that's why we started the
I should have a
podcast, isn't
wife
it?
and 3 kids.
I should have a wife and 3 kids
Yeah.
at the age. I should have a grandchild by now.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, I've been thinking that since I was 12.
Why does Willy Wonka get a chocolate factory and I don't? The fuck's going on with this world? The fucking capitalistic regime going on.
I want to apologise to the listeners as well if you can hear some background noise. One of my neighbours has decided now is a great time to be fucking chainsawing right
I
outside
honestly
my
can't
fucking
hear it.
house.
I honestly
nothing
can't hear
for
it.
Yeah, that's good because I can fucking hear it.
Do you think he's having a midlife crisis? Can you imagine being a woodcutter for a living? Like going around to
He's not a
people's neighborhoods.
woodcutter. He's not a woodcutter. He's like 75. He's
He's
been retired since I was born.
It's determined by age.
It's
He's just bored.
You know, he's just really obsessed with building benches, which I should
Wow.
be chuffed about because you know it's a bench.
We
But,
should get like a professional
fucking-
bench maker on the podcast, and we should interview him. Like just a serious episode where we are doing like an educational thing. It's like, so what kind of varnishes do you use on your benches? What's the process of turning a bench into a memorial?
Speaking of, I really want to tell the story of fucking
Big bench.
Big Bench in the well. But
We'll do that at some point. I feel like that we
yeah,
make a
but
big
I
stretch.
think because there's a death involved.
There's law behind that
Gotta
thing.
find it. No, Jason, it's not law. If someone dies, it's just happened. This isn't Lord of the Rings, my friend.
legally,
Never know.
legally, you can't
there's
talk about.
There's a whole law behind this real human that lost their life.
Well, it depends on how they did it and what
No.
happened.
No. The dude actually died. I don't think he like skipped off to Narnia at some point.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
there was a human life. That human life ended.
Jesus Christ!
We gotta be respectful. So
thank
that's
God
how I don't know how to tackle that. But one day,
Well,
they
put it
can
this
nail
way.
that Big Bench.
Put it this way. When we talk about it, we're not mentioning the location. because like lots of colleges have wells, lots of colleges have benches. We can be very nondescript whilst being descriptive, because
Yeah. But
it's less
also,
about.
is the rumor of what happened what actually happened? Probably not.
It's interesting to talk about anyway.
Possibly.
I think it's a good talking point. I think a lot
Yeah.
of things are a good talking point. I think that when you drink as much as I do, you just wish that you could talk.
Oh, bro. You good, bro?
Yeah, I've just opened the whiskey
having a moment.
and
Alright, you know what? We're not going to speak about that today, but
no.
we're going to leave them with
free.
this.
That's
There's a dead body, there's a bench, and there's a well.
It
Like,
sounds
use your imagination.
It sounds like the most depressing Narnia book title ever. Like the Light of Witch and the Wardrobe, the dead
The dead body, the bench, and the well. Oh, God.
Oh.
That'll be the episode that gets us cancelled.
I was going to say, we know what our 100th episode is going to be titled now.
Dead body, the bench, and the well. Lads, if the three of us ever do make a movie together, we have the idea now. We have the title.
Oh no!
If we don't get cancelled from it first.
Dead body. We're as likely to get cancelled from you fucking every 12 seconds reminding people that we can be cancelled. Let's just take it slow.
You know what's
Ask
funny
them
about...
nicely not to cancel us. And then, like, I don't know, bully people, I guess.
At the very least, going into this episode, we know definitively at the moment who is going to be sponsoring and helping this episode out. So, yeah, that's so it's not like we can't accidentally say something bad about this brand, because we know who the brand is, and to be fair, they are really good.
Oh fuck, bro! Yeah. Like for all I've joked about us just scamming people on the podcast. for all I've joked about that, like, genuinely do really like the brands that we're working with, and I wouldn't want to work with someone that I didn't.
Honestly, and
like,
it's not just
whenever you've come to us, be like, oh, there's this brand that wants to work with us or whatever. Like, I'm always dead hyped because I actually like the brands.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, talking like candidly now, and this isn't just to like gain respect or to not get cancelled and shit like that, but generally, like, the people that partnering up with us are people that we genuinely like. It's not just one of those. It's one of those things where it's like, oh shit, like it's. I would recommend these people. I can imagine that when I go into town or something like that, if I'm in need of something that they are providing, I will generally go there. And once again, it sounds baity as all hell, doesn't it? When we say like, "Hey, we're not just saying this," but genuinely, we're not just saying.
Yeah. Everyone says that, but like, end of the day, truth is, I would never say it just to try and like raid your wallet. But speaking of raiding, this episode.
Oh, here we go. If only we had them.
One day we're gonna get the email. One day, and I tell you what. When that day comes, I am going to accept it, and we are going to make the best. Like, I'm putting money into this ad, right? I'm going all out on it. Like, you've seen ads on this product before.
Many times.
Going to. If you don't know what we're talking about, watch a YouTube video. It'll crop up around about the 10-minute mark.
Any YouTube video.
You'll see within the first 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, you should do something like that for like a playthrough on the Shadow Darkness. But speaking of shadows, this episode. No, I'm joking.
It's brought to you by. I don't know. Dusk. God. Speaking of shadows, this is brought to you by
let's
the
be
big
honest.
limit.
If you ever see a Raid Shadow Legends ad on here, then just know that we've entirely lost all self-respect.
We've reached episode
down.
101.
We were aiming for 100 of it, but no, it didn't work.
Yeah, once we've reached episode 101, that's when we're going to start doing like the sponsors and affiliates that we literally don't care for.
No. Boys, if it ever gets to the point where we're doing a Raid Shadow Legends ad, it's getting to the point where the podcast is dead. Like, have either of you two ever actually played it?
No.
No, I think that like
it's fucking shit.
I downloaded it like once, and I think it's one of those games where it's a bit like, remember what was that massive game that was like a tower defense game that was like really, really popular in like 2010, like
It was tower defense.
Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans. That was it. Like everyone was playing that, and whenever I like looked at it, I was like, "Dude, the fucking scamming you, lad!" Like,
yeah, I was never big in Clash of Clans.
Like, I think that like mobile game wise, when I look at mobile games, no, I can't say it. I can't because then that kills all future sponsors. If I tell you my preference in mobile games right now, then that means that any
No, go on, because I don't want to. I want to get sponsored by something that we don't like. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, what I was going to say is that whenever I like a nice whole product, you know, I'm not too big on microtransactions, but I'm willing to accept transactions when they are like cosmetic. Nothing too crazy, you know. Sometimes it goes a bit overboard. Like Marvel's Avengers, that game when that came out, they were doing like a weird ass like sponsorship brands. It was like if you have like a Virgin Media like broadband unit, then you can get like a Virgin Media inspired Captain America suit, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Could you imagine watching like an MCU film where like Steve Rogers rolls up with his shield, and then on it's got Raid Shadow Legends written on Captain America's shield? He's like, I got to get funding somehow. Like Stark's dead, isn't it? So.
What?
Oh, you didn't know? That's
No, I'm joking. I'm not even into that stuff, to be honest.
Nah, that's fair. Like the last,
That's what to
literally,
shit in a bit.
the last 2 years of like Marvel shit has been horrendous. Like you can tell that they are just raking it in at this point. I'm not going to go into a rant.
Opinion on all that. I'm not. It's not really for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into a rant about something that on my. I'm not going to plug my channel, but whenever I do videos on there, I have to go off on like tangents, like how films are written at the moment and the agendas behind studios. Because something that really, really, I just said I wasn't going to go on a rant. It's a podcast though. It's a conversation.
I like your channel because it's like a podcast with yourself. You know what I mean? It's like
that's the aim.
Like, he's just gone crazy.
Switch your mic on and you're just going to have a rant, and I think
pretty
it's
much.
Brilliant.
I like doing that stuff though. Like I think that's something when it comes to like writing in general, whether it be films, TV shows, games, books, anything, something that not just studio, audience members are like really weird about now. I feel like ever since like 2010 onwards, there's been this weird phenomenon where people just think that everything is subjective. Like everything is like, but without objectivity when it comes to writing. Like we're media students. We've invested our lives into studying this, and we have like a good like 70% of the world at the moment saying, yeah, but everything's subjective. It's like, okay, well, if everything's subjective, then I've wasted the majority of my life studying this course. Like, if you're going to say that, well, everyone just likes something. Like, there's no such thing as like definitive good and bad. It's like that Hitler begs to differ. But I mean, like the point of objectivity in filmmaking is the fact that you can have a look at something and set a bar because if I were just to like scribble on a page and then like submit that to script, and like Disney were there going, oh yeah, that's perfect. We'll make that to a new like Disney princess film. And
Well, if you think about some of the fucking highest selling paintings of all time have just been fucking splashes on a canvas.
literally,
Like, fucking, oh, that's
but
it's just a scam in it. Like fine art is just a scam. It cannot be real. Like
that's the thing,
For
though.
that
Like
to exist.
it is just purely laundering and avoiding taxes, isn't it? Like there's
literally.
no way that's actually for the artwork. There's no way.
100%, and it really pisses me off, because I'm someone who I'm at this weird stage in my life at the moment where I either want to go off and be I want to make a film. I want to I've like got a script for a TV show that I've been holding on to for ages, editing, redrafting, because everyone's got that
I'm
one
writing
idea.
a TV show too.
My
Oi.
boy. Well, if you need any help at all with absolutely anything, you know the call.
Thank you, brother. Same to you.
Thank you very much. Same to you, Jason.
Louis,
Oh,
I've got my
Jason's
scribble
here.
things going off.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm joking.
My boy.
I'm joking. Nah, I'm messing with you.
But yeah, when it comes to like, it pisses me off because whenever I go out and watch a film now, Rotten Tomatoes is a fucking scam. Like the
That's the
fact
place you
that
want to go.
Oh yeah.
the fact that people buy into that, it's like it's owned by Warner Brothers. Are you actually telling me that they're not biased? Are you actually going to tell me that there aren't paid reviews? Like, it's a thing that exists. But regardless, it's whenever like it's the Phantom Menace phenomenon. You know, when people came out of that film and people go, "It's the best thing ever made." Now we can say that for much different reasons. But back when that happened, people were looking at it going, "Oh yeah, it's great," because subjectivity beats out objectivity. And when I critique media, I critique it objectively, but that doesn't mean to say that you can't like it. I like bad films. A lot of films that have come out in the past like decade have been absolutely terrible. I still like them, you know.
Oh
But
yeah, bro.
people
I think some of my favourite films are the shit ones. You know what I mean?
absolutely, like,
Think
your taste is
how many
terrible.
giggles we've had over the room and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally. It's mad because it's an ego fest now. People are so uptight about their own individual opinions that they can't just let the facts be in their face. Like when Star Wars: The Last Jedi came out, like I was under the phenomenon too. When I came out of that film, my brain for like a good like 50% of it thought, if they just take out a few scenes, I think that would be alright. And then days went on, and then I rewatched it again, and then no, as a film, as a Star Wars film, it fails. As an actual film, it fails. I think that there are some things that you can generally point out and say, I really, really like this. Is my favorite Star Wars film, or this is my favorite film in general because of this specific reason. But you cannot objectively tell me that something like that is actually like written well. It's people that use buzzwords, that people that get terminology.
I've been seeing your Twitter rant about buzzwords.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely hate it. Whenever you read like a news article or a website article, and people just go like they're running the thesaurus dry. They have no idea what the fuck they're on about. They go, "It's spectacular, immaculate." Like, what does that mean? These are words that mean nothing. They're words to prop up facts. Like the spectacular, the spectacular script writing. Okay, tell me one thing about the script. Tell me one thing about the writing that is objectively good. Oh, well, I think that this script was good because I liked it. No! Fuck off! Die!
Guilty.
Oh, God.
No, I get you. I think
have
as
argu-
well. I don't know if there's like a name for the phenomenon, but people seem to really overrate anything new.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like if like a fucking say a new video game comes out, everyone's a fan, and it's like, oh, this is the best game ever, 10 out of 10. It's like, well, it's like, all right, fair enough, you're enjoying it, but then fucking 3 years later they go and play it, and they're
Forget
like,
about it.
oh, this is yeah. Like, and I get with games, like it's going forwards quickly, like things get dated, but like, I don't know. It just feels like anything new gets overrated. Like that's Star Wars. Like, I wasn't even born when Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah,
But like
I was one.
yeah, like I can see why like people would fucking be like, oh, this is great because it's new, it's Star Wars and it's new.
Yeah.
But then as it goes on, people are like, oh, this is shit. This is shit.
It's the I think that's going to run dry soon because there just seems to be like a decline on it at the moment. The idea that you bring back old properties and that alone sells positive reception. Like for example, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I haven't seen it. I've heard that's a respectful sequel to the original Ghostbusters film, but it doesn't exactly make up for it in terms of its script. With that being said, people saw the words Jason Reitman appear, and because he's the son of the original director, they're like, oh, Ghostbusters is saved. Oh my god, it's great. It's like you're basing that on
it's going to do that.
Like, do you know how humans work, right? You know that a brand is just a brand. You know that people are different from each other. You can compare like a parent you can compare like a child to his parent in terms of what they have been taught, but you can't compare what they've done in terms of what they do with that information.
Yeah.
You know, there's
hey, my dad was a chef. I'll probably burn your toast. You know what I mean? Don't go mad. Don't start fucking rejoicing if you see my name on a fucking restaurant menu because you know what? Fucking your omelet's sticking to the pan, mate. Like
I don't think anyone could have come up with I don't think anyone could have come up with a better metaphor than that. That was actually. I don't
just burn the whole kitchen down. I would so. Literally.
Yeah, well, I mean, your name is Shadow Darkness 666. I think that was a given.
Yeah, there is also that.
Yeah. Anyway, Jason has been an incredible host and has done so well at pulling us back on topic. I'll joke.
Well, I do.
To be fair, Banter.
I just go along for the ride. So.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. But also mindful that we fucking are waffling.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. Like, if you're listening to this podcast and you're at this point, then you're on board. You're stuck in.
Yeah, no one's listening to the podcast for the fucking.
No
one's listening for the stories. I don't know, actually. Fucking, you know what, lads? Go to our Twitter @GentlemanBench. We're going to put a poll up around the time this episode goes out. I want to know if you're interested in the banter or the actual stories,
or both.
I feel like that's good market research to have as well.
Absolutely. I mean, well, when we were doing this, so when I do my own podcasts, I rarely have a topic of points. Normally the title just has the name of the game that I'm playing, but more often than not, it will be just background noise to what I'm actually talking about. You know, it's like sometimes doing something like this just comes across as more natural. And I mean, put it this way, if we can, I don't consider it waffling. If we can talk about a topic for God knows how long, it means we're passionate. You know, it means that.
Oh fuck yeah! Like this is like, I mean, this is pretty much just what we speak about. Like this is just us having a chat. Like it was only reason I said about that because I was like, I looked at my laptop and I was like, oh shit, we're recording a podcast. Like, I just had it in my head that we were just having a fucking little chin wag.
A chin wag.
Huge
He'll
what
wag the
happens.
chin.
We talk about something and we just take a massive left turn.
Yeah, but I mean that chemistry, that all that jazz, all that jizz,
Oh,
all over your screen.
okay. Hey, £35.
Not again.
A pub for that. Was it 73k a year if you do that full time?
Could you imagine I
One
get an
pub an
email
hour.
now? Could you imagine I get an email now? It's like, yeah, we'll continue to stick by you. Just don't mention that ever again. And then like,
Hey, you know what? If the NHS Sperm Bank wants to sponsor us, I'm open for that.
the NHS sponsors.
Free service.
Guys,
This
we
episode
just
is
want to
sponsored by the NHS Sperm Bank.
specifically. We just wanted to give out a quick message from the NHS Sperm Bank. The PPE is really important at the moment. Being able to put on, that protect yourself when you're out and about. But have you ever thought about, your groinal area? You ever thought about attaching a mask to that? You ever thought about castration? Because you could be saving a life by chopping your dick off. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
Long delay.
I love it. Like, I know one of the best parts about like just bantering is the fact that that whenever you try to make a joke, that not everything's going to land. So the awkward pause in between, I live off of that. I
Oh
feed
yeah.
off of
I
it.
do that. I do that entirely deliberately. Like,
Yeah,
like it
it's
would have
my
been so easy
life.
to just fake that, or to just not make that. Just say something quickly, but the little pause and the fucking
It's
high
beautiful.
pitched answer.
Like some people like respond back and go, "Oh, I thought you were funny." It's like, really, I fucking didn't. I thought the scenario itself was funny. Like that's the point. I live off my own awkwardness.
Yeah,
I love it.
indeed. Oh yeah, it's
Speak.
you know what I find it worse when someone's very clearly fake laughing
Oh,
than when someone just lets it be awkward.
I think that like some of the best experiences, in terms of like laughter, I have witnessed have been, our God. When I'm trying to categorize like our teachers now from college, I'm actually trying to remember what she did. Little one,
Oh, that one.
first year.
The brown one.
Yes.
The one that did like your Minecraft video at the end of the
Hey,
year.
you can say
Oh, that
that.
was understandable. I'm still pissed off at her though, because I had
Can't-
that. I had a sick assignment, lads. I did so well, and then she's looking at that and she goes, "You copy and pasted that from Wikipedia." I'm like, I didn't. She's like, we have this software that we can put your work into, and it'll tell us if it was copied and pasted. Like, well, you're
That's
capping because I didn't copy and paste it. I fucking
literally.
worked on this for ages. I finished it fucking 10 minutes before I had to get the bus into college. What are you chatting about? She's like, if you look there, you can see a Wikipedia citation halfway through your sentence. I'm like, yes, because I fucking added that and added sources at the
Yes,
bottom, you
sources.
fucking bastard.
I hate it. Like,
She's like, well, we haven't taught you how to cite things. And it's like, well, I'm not a fucking mentally retarded 12-year-old, am I? I have the capacity to know that I can cite something, you pleb.
Also,
Anyway,
I hate.
rant over.
No. I'm keeping it going. Research assignments, right? Okay. So when you see something online, you learn about it the way it's written. So if I type it out right, it's going to be. Like one of the things that I struggle with doing is not typing it out the way I remember reading it, because that's the explanation given to me. I can't
I
reword.
get that, but I didn't even do that because it was everything. I was something I already fucking knew.
Yeah.
I already fucking knew. And then I went the extra step, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll be a bit fucking pompous, and I'll fucking I'll find sources that back up what I've already said, and I'll use that to cite my work. She's like,
Oh,
nah,
no,
we've
no.
not taught you how to do that. And that's not the fucking Harvard way anyway. That's
Not the
how they do
Harvard
it on Wikipedia.
You're never
like-
getting into
it's like,
Harvard if it was up
shut
to
your
me.
fucking mouth, you little bastard. I was
You know
so
what?
pissed off.
At least you were shorter than like nearly everyone anyway, so
I'm
You were?
taking.
it's
I'm
like she
taking.
was shorter than everyone, so it's like can't
Oh,
really
yeah, I
do
wasn't-
much.
I wasn't best pleased. I
Lads,
was
I'm
not
taking
best
this shot. What should I drink to?
What have you got?
Vodka.
Ooh. Drink to Big Bench.
Big bench. To big bench.
The Big Bench.
All
To
the
big
benches,
women. To big women. Big money. Big bench.
all the bees.
Go
Yeah.
on. I was drinking to that.
My lad.
Well,
My man.
I mean, like metaphorically, because it's fucking 20 past 2.
And? Mate,
I got
20
hour
past
somewhere.
2. 20 past 2 on a free day. Right. You should be down. You should be down at Funky Town. Funky Town. Remember that song?
Hey, if we you know that little project we spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'll happily day drink on that.
Happily day drink on that, man. Man.
And I'm just gonna be here sober, trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about.
Honest to God, can we actually do that? Like, I am so down for it. I'd like.
fuck yeah.
I rewatched
yeah.
I rewatched like 5 episodes of that whilst just casually drinking, and my mind was like, dude, if I was
Innit?
pissed for a moment,
Bro, I wasn't capping when I said it was good, innit? Like it's a good show.
honestly, it's
like
one
don't
of
get me
those.
wrong, the way the worlds are saved are a bit fucking.
Well, that's the thing. I
War
think it's
over.
I think it's one of those shows that's like it goes. It's there are certain shows out there which like they go to bad until like cringe bad, and then they circle all the way back around to being fucking amazing. And this is one of those shows, like genuinely, like no spoilers as to what we're talking about. But the first episode, I swear to God, I was a broken mess by
You ever watched it
the end of
before?
it. Oh yeah. I remember
Yeah.
it. It was one of the shows where it's like a vague memory. That I just realised we could do an episode solely on like CBBC shows at some point.
Bro, you know what? CBBC, right? I thought it at the time. I still think it now. It had some shows on CBBC that just were too good for CBBC. Like the shows that adults like that also appeal to adults as much as they did to the fucking 12-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Big
And they
time.
could have been even better if they were allowed to be a little bit more grown up.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's
one that comes to mind is fucking Young Dracula. I loved that.
Oh.
I don't know if any of y'all watched that.
Yeah.
Like my parents like that as well. I still like that now. Like that is it's hard to find now, but it's banging when you watch it. If they were allowed to be like fucking 9 o'clock BBC Three sort of that could have been good. Like that could have been even better.
There are so many shows and films where when I think back to like my childhood, like you compare them to like the shit that comes out now, and it's like the fuck happened. Like when I was young, I was learning about like family disputes, like genuinely like this real world shit, like going on through all these shows, and then now we're like, yeah, we'll verbally mention it, but that doesn't mean that we're actually going to do anything about it. And it pisses me off. Like
what happened to the world?
Like Tracy Beaker was on
Tracy,
another
oh
level.
my god, bro!
Need to bring back 90s, early 2000 cartoons and things.
Like the fucking Tracy Beaker, bro. I still watch that occasionally now. there's fucking shout out to them. There's this YouTube channel that to this day, like every day, uploads a new Tracy Beaker episode.
Mm.
Like I'm not saying I watch it every day, lads, but
Yeah.
like occasionally I'm like, oh fucking, let's watch some Tracy Beaker, boys.
It's mad because if they were to make something like that today, they would not stick the landing. No fucking way.
No, I think they do because like with Tracy Beaker, even though like it was very clearly like not really made for adults, but like the way that they like handle some like actual issues in there, like I don't think they pull it off now.
Like the core idea behind it was like, you know, these children are like literally up for adoption, and the show is just like if we had that show made today, they would point out like 5 times an episode that their parents are dead or some shit like that. Like they would like throw out the most depressing crap in the world, and they'll be like, "Oh, feel bad for me because I say that bad things happen. That doesn't mean that I've got a character or anything like that." Like it was the EastEnders for kids. That's what it was. You went back to it on a weekly basis because you were generally like, "Holy shit,
Yeah,
what's
bro.
this?"
Oh, bro, it was an emotional roller coaster. It's like, oh, Tracy's been fostered. Oh, Tracy's taken
Yeah,
back. Oh, Tracy's been fostered. Oh, Tracy's taken back.
you put it that
Oh,
way, and it's like, what the
oh,
fuck?
Cam's fucking taken aback because she wants to write. Oh, now she wants a kid. Oh, now Cam's got a fella. Oh, go on then. They're gonna have a kid. Oh no, Tracy's been taken back. And she's like, oh, you know what? You don't want to foster me. That's fine. It's like, oh, Tracy, we don't want to foster you. We want to adopt you. And it's like, oh, it's meant to be emotional and that. And then it's like, oh, Tracy Beaker. What am I even saying now? I went from bigging it up to slagging it off to now just fucking waffling.
Went all over the place with it.
Because my words are like 2 minutes behind what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking about fucking Tracy Beaker Returns.
Oh yeah,
And
Jesus.
my head is still, my mouth is still waffling on about fucking Tracy getting fostered and adopted.
That was such a weird thing to do, though. Like, I didn't mind its existence, but it was like,
No,
yeah,
uh,
because
I
they've done
like
a
it.
spin-off, haven't they?
Yeah,
They
I'm not seeing the newest thing, but
like the dumping ground or something like that. It's gone on for like 9 seasons and it's still going. It's
yeah, well they did that when the original Tracy Beaker was going, if I'm not mistaken. They the fucking title of the show was constantly changing because when Tracy Beaker
oh
was
yeah.
when she'd get fostered, she'd be out the show for a season or so, and they'd call it the dumping ground,
Yeah,
and then she'd
literally.
get brought back, and it'd be Tracy Beaker. Like,
I,
I never read the books, but it gave me the impression that she was like adopted
oh
pretty
my god.
quickly in the books.
Oh my god.
These
A new Tracy Beaker show has started this year, and do you want to know what the title's called? My
What?
Mum Tracy Beaker.
Oh, shut your mouth. Let's have a
What
look
the
at this. My Mum Tracy Beaker.
dude? What's her name? Danny Harmer. She's living off of Tracy Beaker. She's literally. I don't. She.
Ha
I think,
ha! 69% like this show. Nice.
I
He's
literally
happy.
think that she's just living off of it.
It was only 3 episodes long.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Looking at the cast, so you're obviously Danny Hartman, Tracy Beaker. Then it says Lisa
Yeah.
Coleman, Granny Cam. Fucking Granny Cam. Are you looking at this? Granny Cam. It's
God.
like, oh, there's Justine as well. But I think that's the entire like returning cast. That's mad.
It's probably shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, we feel old now. Was she old enough to have had a kid that old by now?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Like she's like 32. Yeah, 32.
What?
Yeah.
It started in 2002. Holy shit.
I was 3.
I was
God,
4.
I was 1.
Actually, hang on. No, I was 4. Jason, you can't pull that shit on me. I was 4 as well. You can't be older than me in this scenario.
I was fucking 1.
We somehow time skipped each other.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, whilst me and Jason are currently like conferring about our age, Saul's in the background having a midlife crisis.
Boys, I feel old, you know. I feel old.
God, we should
As soon as you hit 20, it comes on you.
we should reboot Tracy Beaker. We should remake it. Make it terribly, of course, but we should do it anyway. We should call it David Stalker. I don't know.
Oh my god, they did it again!
What?
Fucking Tracy Beaker Returns. When she got taken out of that, they retitled it to The Dumping Ground.
Yeah, they did it twice. Like,
How many times are they doing that? Holy moly. Oh.
Well, I mean,
Take her out the show, realize it did crap, they bring her back in.
and then she just, I love
I
it.
actually kind of
You look at the
that
Wikipedia.
it didn't need the main character to.
Yeah, I
be
mean,
decent.
she was the central point of the show, but I mean, she was like the icing to like the cake, and the cake was the dumping ground itself.
Yeah, for real though, I think some like obviously it wasn't done great, but I think some writers for other like adult genre, I don't mean adult genres like fucking porn writers and that, but you know, I think writers
You
could
didn't
take
even
a
have to
lesson.
say that, and I knew where you're going with it.
I think writers could take a lesson of how you can take the main character out and like how to make everything else strong enough to lift it.
Well, it's about character writing more than anything else. Like, if you develop characters enough, you can generally get away with it. I do feel like that spin-offs are like that's sort of like an infection of such shows at the moment. Everything has to be a franchise, but I don't know. It's like whenever you hear like, oh, a big budget film is getting a spin-off for like a character that was in it for like 2 minutes, and you're just there like, but they were used for a gag. Like,
All it needs.
Someone say gag.
Not in that way.
Someone says gag and Saul appears.
That's all he needs.
You hear Tracy Beaker and Beaker? You hear Tracy Beaker and Saul hears Terry Porker. I don't know. I've had a lot of vodka.
Becky, I reckon this is a good time to. Beckett,
You
do you want to take us to a sponsor segment?
can do. And heading on over to this week's sponsor video, here's that segment of it. Unfortunately for this one, as we weren't able to completely tell all the stories for this one, and we got a little bit sidetracked, just a little teeny tiny bit. We're going to tell the rest of the stories another time for another one.
That was brilliant. Well done, mate.
That was perfect.
Yeah, well done, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just gonna like. Obviously, we've been fucking waffling for a while now, haven't we, boys?
Yeah.
And these, it is a very, very long story. Like it's basically everything that we did in college together, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that it's gonna. I think it's gonna ascend a single episode.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few hours. So, unfortunately, I think we're just gonna fucking carry on having a chat.
I don't
And
even
you know what
how
that
it went
means?
off.
Hang on. Oh,
going on about one of the stories, and all of a sudden we just took a massive left turn somewhere.
Did
Yeah.
the can make a sound? Did you hear it?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, fuck! Hang on.
Hold on. Craig, insert can sound effect.
Thank you, Craig. You know what?
Yeah.
You know everything we said about you in the last episode, Craig. I take it all back.
Yeah,
But from this point forward,
I don't know if he actually did it, but it just
Evidence
cheers,
to
Craig.
post.
yeah. You know what, though, Craig? You know what? From this point forward, we're gonna have a fresh start with you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck you, Craig.
Craig. As long as nothing's fucked up this episode, Craig, then you have my confidence again. 'Cause I was very close to sacking you, mate.
Do you know
Don't
how?
give him too much power.
Do you know how weird it is? This is a topic of drinks now, okay? But do you know how weird it is when you go from like a can of one thing to like a different brand of the same type of drink, and it's just I feel like my body is like it's going through like Google Translate at the moment. It's like
I only drink vodka. Other than that time, we were just chatting. Oh man, we should have been fucking like we just had a chat worthy of the podcast as well. We always do that, don't we? When we're fucking
Pretty much.
before we come back, we say stuff that's like, yeah, oh well.
We'll start with
It's
a little
fine.
bit of a story and then just go off somewhere.
Well, I mean, that's we have banter. We banter. It's banter. It's not like that.
Banter with the boys.
Yeah, banter with the lads.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, lads! I'm so sorry if there's anyone watching this that's not at all into fucking media production. The whole first half of this is probably dead for them.
I think it's going to be really cool.
We're
You know?
just
Someone's
going
going to.
on
Oh, there he is.
about fucking reviewing films and fucking waffling about Tracy Beaker.
But the thing is that like the majority of the people that are listening to this have no idea who we are. So like we are giving them a personality type. You know, I'm the person that gets way too serious and drinks a lot. Jason is the person that he has these one-liners that shoot up.
He does, doesn't he? He's really
Yeah.
good with his one-liners.
I do.
And so you're like the glue that goes over the top of everything that makes sure that like there's like a line. You're like the thread throughout the entire thing to keep us sane.
Fred.
Yeah, like you remember Fred from YouTube? Remember, oh my god! You're that dude.
I'm not sure. Oh my god, I'm not that annoying, surely.
No. I wanted banter and I preserve.
Fair enough.
Right. I need you guys to count me down. I'm going to put the microphone right up so you can all hear this. I need you guys to count me down.
Oh god, that's right in my ears.
You know the tune. You know what to sing.
Oh no.
Come on. Give me this.
This ain't choir on.
No. Don't start from 5, Jason. That's fucking deadly.
Where did you start from?
I've got like nearly a full can here, and you want to start from 5 from the get-go without the tune at the beginning. Like,
Well, shit, didn't we tell that much?
Jason's here watching like Bruce Willis, like picturing me walking on glass at like the what's it called, the hotel. He thinks that like, oh yeah, dude, like if Bruce Willis can do this, then Scott can as well. Like, I know you hold me in high regard, boy, but not that high, please. My feet are fragile. I can't walk on glass at the moment, but you can count me down. You can. Come on, please. I've got a can here. It's open.
Oh, fellas. Fucking filter. I've muted my mic. That's brilliant. Yeah, man.
I can hear you.
Oh, well, sensual.
Hello, Craig is Craig is fully erect right now.
Why am I actually trying to do ASMR now?
I don't know.
I removed the pop filter.
My non. I removed my fucking filter as well. Alright, go on.
Okay, here we go. When you're ready.
We like to drink with Scotty because Scotty is our mate. And when we drink with Scotty, he gets it down in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Mission failed.
I don't know if he's done it, you know.
I'm going to be burping for a bit.
What?
Wait,
I'm going to be
what?
burping for a bit. I've got about a drop left.
Nah, mission
You
failed.
failed.
Mission failed. Mission
Say the whole
failed.
thing or it's nothing.
What is it about? It's carbonated cans, right? If you put beer in a can, but if you put it in a pint glass, it's like I can down the pint glass. Like, you know what it is?
No, you should have shotgunned it, mate.
You know
Mission
what it is?
failed. We'll get him next time.
I
You
knew
want
you
him
were
to
going
kill himself?
Captain Price kicks out the door now. What? He's still wearing like. Oh, hang on.
There we go.
I got one. I've been burping so much throughout this entire thing. I've just been trying to get the pick up on microphone, and I got one good one.
Oh yeah, I think I did that last episode. I was really trying to burp on mic.
And now we've turned to a nice segment of ASMR burping with Scott.
My mic-
Obviously, we've been recording these. Like, we start recording a couple minutes after the last week's one goes live, don't we?
Yeah.
Usually.
I'm kind of curious because obviously Scott does a lot, and I do. But I want to know, Jason, do you listen to the whole podcast after we finish it?
Usually when I get home and things.
We forget that.
So, like, say like Coffee Man, right? Because because when we're filming this, like, Toilet Guy's just come out. Congrats to him. No joking. Like, have you listened to the whole Coffee Man episode?
Not the whole thing.
No, you didn't strike me as the guy to listen to it back.
We didn't
You
even
me as
mention.
the guys recording it down.
We didn't even mention this during the last episode, did we? We actually had someone who came up with a theory about Coffee Man.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So we asked I asked in the episode if you lads can.
There it is.
I don't know why I keep calling the listeners lads. Like, most of them are women.
Well, it's lads and laddies, isn't it?
Isn't laddie just like a fucking little kid though, like a young?
Well, it is 2021. Like, they can be whoever they want them to be.
Yeah, you know what? No
Yeah,
judgment
identify
here,
as that.
fellas. No, see, fellas as well. I'm so sorry.
Okay, what's it they say in Shrek?
Inclusive.
Yeah, but
Pardon?
what's it they say in Shrek? Like, ladies and gentlemen and other fairy tale creatures.
Pretty much.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, that sounds formal.
In between.
But anyway. Oh shit! Yeah, it's 2021.
Oh fuck!
Hang on. All beings that
all sentient life forms.
So what's after everything we've said? We get cancelled because we say ladies and gentlemen.
You know what we should do?
Didn't include the fucking attack helicopters.
Right, from this point forward, whenever we're addressing the audience...
Yes, with the helicopters from you.
From this point forward, whenever we're addressing the audience, we're going to address Craig, because Craig's going to be like our what's the word for it? Our bitch. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Alright, so in our first episode, I asked Craig.
Conversation somehow.
We asked you guys to send in on Twitter at Gentleman Bench some of your theories on Coffee Man. And definitely this one is brilliant. We have get this up. It's by Game Breaker Mills. Shout out to that fella. Or other. I don't know, people. I'm trying to do fucking 2021 here. I can't. Anyway, Game Breaker Mills on Twitter goes, at Gentleman Bench, I think Coffee Man is a superhero. The toilet has access to the coffee cave, and he's there every 20 minutes because coffee gives him power. But 8 cups only sustains his power for roughly 10 minutes. Takes him another 10 to drink 8 more cups.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Probably not that plausible, to be honest, Game Breaker Mills.
Like the dude that was saying that you just shut him down immediately. Like, I think that you're probably chatting shit, mate. But
It's immediately shut down. Next theory.
I don't think you're fucking going to be the next Sherlock Holmes anytime soon. But do appreciate your theory.
unless he's in like direct contact with Coffee Man, and he's just this is a cover up. Like he's
What if
actually
it is Coffee Man? What if actually is
Oh God.
Coffee Man? Coffee Man is Game Breaker Mills confirmed.
he's like reached out after all this time. Like,
Throw us off the scent. It's actually him.
you know what? I am not nearly drunk enough, so I will take a shot to Game Breaker Mills.
Yeah, to Game Breaker Mills. Thank you for your suggestion, fella.
Thank you for your suggestion, fella, or other.
Series coming in.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what the best part about having
keep your Coffee Man theories coming in. Definitely.
Yeah. The best part about having a beard is that if you accidentally tip a little bit in, it's called the flavor saver. You know.
Are you rocking a beard these days, Beckett?
No.
No,
Clean shaven every week.
You what?
Clean shaven every week.
Clean shaven every week.
I'd love to see with like a full-grown beard. Honestly, like I what I want to do is like we'll do a calendar. Oh God! Right, if you guys, so I've got the analytics up at the moment for these podcasts. If you guys can get us up to like, let's say we'll say 2,000 views just to be safe. 2,000 views for like a week, because that's a bit outlandish, but it's not unbelievable.
Wait, sorry, mate. What was that?
If we put out there and say like if we can get people to get us like say 2,000 views a week, it's outlandish at the moment, but for what I have in mind, it's a good milestone goal. So if we say that like if you guys can get us 2,000 views in a week, we will make a bench calendar.
A bench calendar.
Yeah, I'm fully up for this.
Oh boy.
Most definitely. I mean, like we don't ask enough from them, but I'm gonna beg you guys to leave us 5-star reviews wherever you get your podcasts, because
these are fun and really need to be done.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, it helps us out a lot. You know what I mean?
It does massively, and that's
I know we're rocking a 5-star on Audible.
We are.
Yeah.
On Audible as well.
On Audible, oh my God, bro. Audible.
Like, to be fair, that was the last place I thought we were going to get a podcast, and then just one day it's like, oh, by the way, podcast is on Audible, and it's like, oh, cool, great. I'm glad that Amazon got their dicks out for us. That's not like a derogatory thing. That's generally like I would.
Oh yeah, like not sponsored. I fucking love Audible.
Yeah.
Like Audible is where I listen to Gentlemen on the Bench.
Yeah, and Bench is where I go to get clothing.
Yeah, JD Sport is another personal favourite of mine.
Love their trainers. Love their trainers.
I know last week I said I'm not going to ever wear another clothing brand, but that was before I discovered JD Sport.
You had no idea of his existence before that podcast.
genuinely, I knew about every other clothing line. I didn't know JD Sport existed. I didn't know. I'm sorry. And now I have two favourites.
Yeah. One for sportswear and the other for casual streetwear.
You know why I didn't know?
Why didn't you know?
Because where I live, we don't have access to Google. That's why
Whoa.
I got
Mate.
Surfshark. And suddenly,
Hang
I
on.
connected to the UK. And boom! I discovered JD Sport.
You'll discover a whole lot more.
I just want to say that in the very first episode, you literally mentioned yourself Googling something.
It's about to be out the window.
Listen, lads, alright.
Yeah.
JD Sport weren't giving us some fucking money then, were they?
We don't know about now.
Don't say JD have cancelled on this, because that's going to suck balls.
Like we do to JD Sports in order to get them to sponsor us. That was a breakdown in communication there. The English language flew out of your mouth and went down the well where that guy died.
Well, you guys, I was going on at that fucking not so candid fucking advertisements, and yours was so quiet. Like, it just felt like there was something I wasn't aware of. Like, you guys both knew that, like, fucking our sponsors had pulled out or something.
Mooch.
And
That was the best one I've ever done in my life. I'm never going to compete to that. That was it.
Yeah. Anyway, Speaking of pulling out, never have to do it again with our new sponsor, Magnum.
No!
Hold up.
No. See, at this point forward, whenever we mention a brand, we do have to say that other brands are available just in case they sponsor us. So yeah, Magnum is an amazing brand. Just throwing it out there, but there are other condom brands out there. Hovers.
Yeah, I know Jason's a big fan of Lil Peckers.
Little Peckers.
No judgment. They stock all sizes.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Where's it going?
I don't know. I'm 3 points in, and I've taken 2 shots of vodka, and I'm revving for another one. To be completely honest with you, I just don't have anything to. I don't have anything to drink to. Like, I've done Big Bench, I've done Game Breaker Meals.
Drink to our sponsors.
Okay.
That will definitely want their brands being associated with alcohol.
With alcohol,
and
yeah.
binge drinking. That's what they're gonna want. We try so, like, especially Scott tries so hard to get these sponsors on such a new podcast by people that, like, aren't big names in the podcasting scene.
Why do you think I drink so much? Like, do you know how stressful this is?
He gets on mic and I'm here just fucking destroying all of them.
Alright, I'm gonna take it. Hang on. Merry Christmas, everyone. Jason, what do you want for Christmas?
No one's ever asked me what I want.
No, Jason.
Oh.
I'm. Well, that's why I'm asking you now. I'm Daddy Crimbo. Okay.
Daddy Crimbo.
That's my new name, Daddy Crimbo. I'm Daddy Crimbo, and I'm here to tell you, don't be shy, boy. Ignore the blood red stains on my coat. Just tell me what you want for Christmas. Don't look in the sack. Don't look in the sack.
Yeah. Oh, in 2025,
Yeah.
Christmas Day falls on a Thursday.
I thought you were going to say in 2025, Christmas Day will be cancelled.
There's no more holidays.
No.
That's perfect. So we can call it Benchmas.
Yeah, Merry Benchmas. Love
I've
it.
got my trousers rolled up, so my legs are on show at the moment, and I slap them like a couple of hams, and it makes this really satisfying sound. Listen to this. You ready? Here we go. I didn't even show my mic.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear a
No,
thing.
didn't hear
I've
anything.
potentially bruised my own leg for no reason.
Actually, when I'm
read to-
listening to fucking obviously Craig fucked up on the first episode.
Oh
And
yeah,
it
fuck Craig.
sounds so awkward because our laughs are just completely muted. But like when I'm listening to them back, it's like some things that I know I did and said just like are not picked up by the mic. And then other times there's things that are massively picked up that just shouldn't be.
In a way, I'm sort of grateful because it's a learning curve. It's it's taught me to like enunciate things more. It's taught me to be louder. It's taught me to be Gaston. No one eats like Gaston. No one fucks like Gaston. No one does
I
your
don't remember that
mom
being in the lyrics.
like Gaston. I've just killed and ejaculated. My name is Gaston. Beauty and my dick. That's why it's
You
called the
listened to
Beast.
the wrong song.
No. Gaston's dick's called the Beast. That's what that film was about. He lets. That's why he says he's got a lot of hair, because he rips his pants off and it's just like it's like a lion roaring. It's like Disney. Do you want to sponsor us? Because
What brand of Johnnies do you two use?
mainly Jorex. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's boring, but
What about you, Jason?
I've got a fun story about that, by the way.
Oh, Jason's
You didn't really
apparently
use any.
disappeared. I mean, my guy. I will see if we get Durex to sponsor the fucking, because it's always good to promote safe sex among
It is.
youths. No, not you. I sort of said youths. The way I said that makes it seem like there's like fucking 8-year-olds around there that was like, oh, fucking need some Durex. I probably shouldn't have said that. Craig.
Probably shouldn't have, but that's been recorded.
I was just digging the hole then, bro. Everything I was saying was making it worse and worse.
It was like
Normally I
thing
do
is-
those intentionally. That was genuinely me trying to fucking climb out of the hole.
I was gonna say, like the last episode was like you standing on like you were like on a mountain, and as you were rolling down the mountain, like you slowly turned to like this massive snowball, and it caused an avalanche. So it gradually happened. That was like a Jenga set. You were standing on top of like on like the world's largest Jenga set, and then just you punched the ground at full force and just fell in a
Because
second.
normally it's intentional. That was very much me realizing. Oh, I said something a bit strange.
There was
Let's say something fucking else to get out of it. And
there
that
was
more
zero
strange.
build up. There was literally zero build up.
It wasn't a punchline. That was just genuinely me realizing.
From 0 to 100 real quick.
You tripped over your own shoelace, and you know what? Craig's laughing at you right now.
What are you going to do about it?
Fuck you, Craig.
You
You're fired.
know what?
How do you think about that?
He's fired, but
Yeah,
he would record
fucking
these
fired.
episodes without
Craig, you're not fired. You're not fired.
No,
What else
Craig.
will want to be hired after this?
Craig, you were never hired. Okay, we just brought you in for labour, like more than anything else.
Paid labour.
Hey, Craig.
You know what? Did you hear that burp?
Very lately,
did not.
something happened.
Because if you heard that was across. I know what, I'm taking a shot for Craig.
You know what? For Craig.
for Craig, for all the abuse. This makes up for it, right, Craig? Craig? Oh,
Oh, this. So I know it's unfortunately going to come to an end soon. I don't know how I feel about this episode. I'm not sure if it's my favorite or least favorite. Like, there's no story, but
I
it's
kind
just
of love it.
it's just purely having a chat in it, which is
Pretty
You know
much.
what you said?
brilliant fun to do. I
You-
hope it fucking is alright for a
Sticks the
listener.
landing. You know what? You know what this episode was? This episode was us trying to have a normal conversation, and then I think that was my fourth shot of vodka, 3 cans of beer. The microphone fell over as well. It's me gradually getting drunk in the background, whilst you two are just generally trying to keep things sober. Like,
Yeah, I think this episode's the first time that we've had a chat about something entirely serious. Like I got genuinely angry at one point. I don't know if that was when we were recording or not.
I think it was. That's great though. Like,
Recorded the whole thing, so
what's the word for it? It's not being passionate. Well, no, fuck me. It is being passionate. I was going to say passionality, but no, it is being passionate. Passionality. Well, fuck it.
Passionality.
We're reinventing the English language here now. We're making a new language. We're calling it bench. We're calling it the
Modern-day
bench
Shakespeare.
language. Modern day Shakespeare. I'll show you
shaking
shaking
bench.
my
I was
spear.
thinking that.
Violet.
We're on, Violet.
Violet, I'm going to
Fucking slag, Violet. Where are you?
God, people who haven't seen the YouTube version of the last episode are not going to get that.
Oh my god, it's not.
Oh, we're
not in
looking
the
now
audio
for
version.
new members for the podcast.
Hey, people! After you listen to this, or wherever you listen to your podcast, go and re-watch it on YouTube because there are some moments for film. In fact, I really think that we should have like just some fucking film to go with the next ones. But the fucking
Well,
sponsor
we can-
segments are actually brilliant on YouTube, aren't they, boys?
I love
Like,
making them.
Yeah, like
They-
like they are my favorite part. Like it genuinely goes from like being it's just another fucking podcaster, another YouTuber, whatever, fucking doing a sponsor, to actually being like the best sponsorships that you've ever seen.
Like, I had so much fun editing those together. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. You're high energy, and then whenever I edit my own stuff, I always hear my own voice, and
I hate hearing my own voice.
Well, I won't watch my own
I
videos
think I
back. It's
sound
like,
so
oh
different
no.
than I sound when I fucking listen to my voice back.
Same. Like when I hear my own voice, like when I'm talking, I hear my voice as like my age, and then when I listen to it, I sound about 12 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah, I sound when I listen to it, I sound really young. My voice sounds way higher pitched, and I sound like I've got something stuck in my throat. Like
It's like
I realize people have always said that I mumble when I speak. I've always thought they were lying, but I really do, and I stutter a lot as well. And I'm a
He's
fucking
just drop dead robot.
I'm a potty mouth as well. I thought I didn't swear very much, but
mate, you spent
You swear left, right, center.
you spent the last episode talking about wanking for about 10 minutes, and then you spent another 10 minutes after that pleading with our sponsors not to cancel us. And
that's a recurring pattern on the podcast, isn't it?
literally,
I just say something stupid and then spend 10 times as long begging the sponsors not to cancel us.
Speaking of which, Jason, it's your turn to do the sponsor read this week, so I'm really excited to see what you have.
Wait, he's already done it. What do you mean?
Well, I know he's already done it. I mean, it's why we've got the time machine, isn't it? Like we just got it back here.
Yeah, I mean, we just do the sponsors in post, don't we? But like,
Pretty much.
I don't know, like, always brilliant. Like, you just there's low effort, just reading it out. Like,
Well,
we actually put like mine are fucking energy. I thought mine was brilliant, to be fair, and I'm normally critical of my own stuff, but I liked that. Yours, I think you made a whole fucking skit out of your one. Well, they were brilliant
Yeah,
too.
lots of like,
Oh, thanks.
is this a sponsor or what?
I was really nervous about making mine because when I type like put it this way, when I riff, it's very differently to my scripted stuff, and I know I've got a brand of humor that doesn't stick, you know. I go all over the fucking place. So when I'm typing up jokes, I'm trying to think of like how can I make this kinetic? How can I make this flow? And yeah, I mean, I hope people liked it.
Yeah. Oh, bro, come on. Compared to the normal sponsor segments on things, these are like fucking
Either way
brilliant.
better.
I think they're the fucking highlight. Like whenever, like anyone that I know is listened to a bit, I'm like, oh, did you hear the sponsor segments? like genuinely, like want it. Well, that was the fakest laugh I've ever heard.
Ho 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 ho!
Was it when we were recording that we were speaking about fake laughs and awkward pauses, or was that?
Yeah, and I don't think we're recording that point, but
Oh, no.
You remember Jimmy Carr? Jimmy Carr laugh.
Not that again, please, not that.
I used to be able to do that brilliantly, didn't I? I don't think I could do it anymore.
We would stand at opposite ends of like a corridor, and if you wanted to know, like, you know, when you have that thing where you meet up with a friend and you say that thing, where it's like, you know, like the modern thing is like, oh, wagwan.
Oh, wagwan.
Oh, wagwan. I know. I just said that so blunt, as if it was nothing.
Which is like how me and yeah, never mind. I can't say names, can I?
No.
Never mind. But yeah, we'd just be there, Dick, and Jimmy Carr laughing on either end of it.
Like we
People
walk
get
in,
so
like,
annoyed at that. Like people do not find that funny.
I've
Constantly did it every day.
Oh my god,
Funny for
it
us,
was
though.
great though. Yeah, I mean, it was confirmation of each other's existence. My mic almost fell down again. That's great. You know what? 3 times in a row.
You need a stand for a minute. Have you got like a table stand?
No. Like the microphone I've got's got its own stand. It's just because I am a drunk wreck right now, and I'm going to have another shot because
Oh boy.
I'm actually like on the verge of tipsiness. If I have one more, I think I'll be there. So, what should I drink to, fellas?
Drink to fat bitches.
Fat bitches, got it. Fat bitches with their deep ditches. Right, here we go. I love you, JD Sports. Right,
No. They do not want that. Never mind. I'm gonna get cancelled if I say that.
So, you say no, and I hear Darude Sandstorm in the back of my head.
Because
we
that's
like
where
JD
your
Sports
head goes.
and we like fat bitches, and that's how it is. But those two, JD Sports and fat bitches, are not like related. They do not cross.
This. Oh, I think what? Jason.
No, he does. He does that, doesn't he? When he has to go, he doesn't say bye. He just leaves.
Is he gone?
He's gone. Yeah. So Jason, our host for today, has just left his own episode.
I was so charged.
I was like, "What's that noise?" As Craig dipped, and I was like, "No, Jason has."
Craig's outlived Jason. Oh my god!
Bro, you know what? For since it's his episode, he said the least that he has on any episode. Like, he said nothing.
Like, his intro was so strong, and then that was it.
Yeah, I mean, he did have to re-record it. Bless him.
Yeah,
He's getting there, though.
absolutely.
He's going to get there. Proud of him.
Are we going to end
Definitely
the
outside
episode?
his comfort zone. Pardon?
Are we going to end the episode, or are we just
No,
going to?
no.
Yeah, we're going to keep going. Oh, awesome!
Our time limit was only because of him, wasn't it?
You, huh? How long you got?
No, we will have to wrap it up shortly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know what? This has been a fun one. I
I've
wonder how
really
long
enjoyed
it'll
this.
be because the last toilet guy was fucking long, wasn't it? I thought it was mad how we took Coffee Guy, which is a story that spanned 2 years, and we made it into an hour. And then we took Toilet Guy.
A 10-minute story into an hour and a half.
Toilet Guy is the story of Toilet Guy. Let's be honest. We stole some AstroTurf. We went to film in a toilet. A guy walked in. I hid from him. The guy left.
Well, to be fair,
That's the story of Toilet Guy, and we made that into an hour and a half.
to be fair, a good 20 minutes of it were dedicated to us talking about OnlyFans. So
Yeah. Anyway, you know what? Now Beckett's gone, we can have. I was saying that we should have a debate episode. Since we are master debaters.
Oh, big debaters, like big massive debaters.
Oh, master debaters.
Massive master debaters.
Oh, master debate all the time. I am a frequent masturbator.
I often gather people in a large group, and we call it our masturbation session.
Oh, I will master debate whoever I'm with, bro. I will. I debate on mass. I masturbate.
I will absolutely jerk the situation off until we come to a conclusion.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's incredible.
And if you don't know how babies are born, basically take all the terms we've been using over the past 3 episodes, put them into a Google search, and you should get an idea.
Yeah, basically.
Also, if you're underage and you listen to this podcast, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, if when you went into our demographics, we've not had a single listener under 18, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's been above board. If we check them like we're bouncers, like before you listen to an episode, you're like, "Can we see some ID, please, mate?" And then you're like, "Yeah," and it's like crayons. It's like fucking Crayola, like the.
Oh my god! Do you remember you ever seen Mr. Bean's Holiday? He like draws his ID.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. There we go.
Jason does such a good Mr. Bean impression, doesn't
he? He does, honestly.
Oh, Beckett's got back to us. His power has gone out.
What the fuck? The dude has
how
been...
is he messaging us from his laptop when his power's gone out?
It's because he loves us.
With the power of your imagination.
Oh, dude. Like, honestly, to anyone out there, our movie night podcast that's coming soon, that's...
Oh, full on announcing that, are you?
Well, I mean, it was in the teaser. Like, people have seen it. They've seen the logo. They know it's a thing.
Yeah. Movie night on a bench.
Movie night on a bench.
I don't mind if you want to say the other idea, but we have something else lined up.
I mean, we could just spill the beans if you want. That could be a talking point for a bit.
Introducing box set on a bench.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Insert crowd cheering music at Craig. Thank you.
Oh no!
Please, thank you.
I saw something on the internet. It wasn't you, sorry. That wasn't clapping.
Ah.
Wait, how many days have I got left? Oh, Jesus Christ. I've got 5 days left. 6, technically.
What?
Triple N, my boy.
Pardon?
Triple N.
Oh my god.
Help.
Yeah, I went out on like the 12th.
If
You
you
still
know... Yeah.
Oh.
If you know, you know. You know?
Oh yeah, to anyone that hasn't got the memo, if you do fail Triple N, please do make a donation to Team C's.
That's
$1 for every day that you have left.
That's why Jason's power cut out.
You know, he didn't make his donation, but he failed.
Well, I mean,
it's
not
for a really good cause.
Yeah.
$1 equals £1 of trash taken from the ocean, which for my non-Americans in normal people measurements is about
sea.
0.45 kilograms.
My mind was like, you say the ocean, and I thought you were going to say, for my non-Americans, it's the sea. And it's like, what?
There's
Is
Team
that?
C's
Is
as
that
well.
like the?
Oh, I wish they had the fucking that whole xenophobic rant about Americans. I so wish that was in the episode. That was my Craig fucked up. That's my favourite thing that we've ever spoken about. I had such a good time fucking doing that.
Dude, like, it's your episode next, so maybe.
Nah, it's not. It's not as authentic, bro. We did it. We did it, and Craig fucked it. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Craig.
but Craig, come here. Okay, no, it's fine, Craig. Just turn around. Yeah, sit down. There you go. Just massaging your neck. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, just ignore the pressure I'm applying. Yeah. That's right, Craig. Go to sleep. Yeah, it's right about that time, isn't it? Oh, yeah, there we go. Look, he's sleeping. He's sleeping, and just because he's not breathing doesn't mean he's not alive. It's okay. I can dig holes.
Put him to rest in the well,
Just
and
tip him
that's how
in.
Big Bench was born.
Just tip him in. Just put him in. Oh, you heard a splat? Nah, that wasn't him. That wasn't Craig. He was spreading some jam on his dead corpse. He's not dead though. Fuck,
Fucking hell, bro.
dude. If I die, it's gonna be on Big Bench down that well. Like I legit like I want it to be like a season finale thing where everything comes full circle and like conveniently the last podcast ever is being recorded by Big Bench and I'm there limping. Like I've been shot and like it's been going on for like a really obscene amount of time like it does in a TV show. And I'm there just like limping towards the end. Like I've had enough time to say goodbye to everyone, even though it's unrealistic that I would have bled out by that point. And I'm there going towards Big Bench, and then I like kiss the mantle, and then I fall backwards down the well, and then it goes. It just a young boy strolls up with like he looks down the well and he sees me and he gets inspired and he starts a podcast, and it goes full circle. We call it Gentleman on the Bench Returns.
Wow.
Except it'll be by Husky Blow, Bladder Barkness 777. I don't really know what to do with your name. There's no other. It's because thing is, your YouTube name is so unique. It's like
Mine you on about now?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I can't parody it. Like
Nah.
fucking oh shit, here we go again. There we go. That's
Oh shit! Here we go again. Wait,
I
can I be
swear.
heard? there was some technical difficulties then.
Were there?
Yeah, there were on me. All
I
sorted
didn't
now.
notice.
Yeah, all
Oh
sorted
shit!
now. All
There we go.
sorted now.
All sorted. All sorted.
All sorted. All sorted.
Much like global warming and racism.
Oh yeah, that's sorted. Sorted.
All sorted.
We did have a chat just before we started this episode, didn't we? Where we did say that racism is strictly prohibited on this podcast. We're sticking to xenophobia only.
Yeah. You know. So if you're not British, we're going to colonize you. That's.
Yeah.
I mean that's not even a threat. That's just going to happen. You're just going to have to accept it. To be completely honest with you. You like tea? Well, you will.
Well, you will. No, I know it's acceptable to be xenophobic to Americans, like I said before.
Yeah.
As long as they're white Americans.
As long as they're white Americans, and as long as they have,
it's pretty acceptable, to be honest.
As long as they hold their true values, quote unquote, then it's absolutely fine. The world's not fucked. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. It's all fine. You can be. White privilege doesn't exist. Come on.
Right, enough of that. We're good.
No. Do you think that the Houses of Parliament make spaghetti out of their wigs? Or do you think their wigs
I
are
don't
made out of
know, but
spaghetti?
what I do know is that, I could never take that seriously. When, in court and all that, where they're wearing the dumbass wigs, I could never take that seriously.
Can you imagine, you've worked your entire life, inside, to try and change, the government, and you're there, yeah, I'm going to change this forever. It's going to be great. And then when you get to the point where it's okay, here we go. I'm going to be a judge, and I'm going to be fair. I'm actually going to be legitimately fair. And then some guy comes up to you and goes, fucking wear this wig. It's why? Do it. Why? Just fucking wear it. How people stroll up to really secret organizations and then they pull out their ID badge. It goes, "You're a part of the FBI. You're a part of the Secret Service." That identification is their wig. They stroll up to work, and if you're wearing a wig from the Houses of Parliament, you're "Yep, checks out. Go on, go through. Yep, you look above 60 to me. Go on."
Aye. I think we have a. Actually, no, not the game. I'm quite interested to know, right? Because I think Britain's quite divided on their opinions on this. Do you mind where American English has changed words?
Me personally.
Yeah, do you personally mind?
I think it's weird. I think it's a bit honestly, it's unnoticeable. Unless it's written down, I don't really pay too much attention to it. But it's one of those things where it's each their own, I think it's really awkward if you meet someone that's I don't think it's said like that. It's fuck. Fuck you. It's you wouldn't disown someone who's say French or Spanish because their language is different. So if someone in America came up to you and said oh, because you swap your E's and L's around, that means that your language is inferior. It's no.
Yeah.
It's just
I think Britain seems to be quite unique in its fucking socio-linguistic prestige. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we take Spanish, obviously not all Spanish people, but most Spanish people just seem to accept that their language has been changed slightly in other parts of the world.
Yeah,
Whereas in Britain, for a lot of people, it really angers them. You know.
it's really weird because at the end of the day, like when you're born, when you grow up, like a language is part of like ownership in a way. Like you and I don't know. I think the whole idea of like identity and ownership and all that sort of stuff is like each your own, you know. Like absolutely, like if you want to go on and you want to be like, look, my like this is the way I talk. It's like okay, adhere to it. You know, if someone comes up to you and it's like you don't understand them, but like so like if you went to France,
Yeah,
they talk French. And it's like
of course.
I would never say, well, you should learn English. Like, fuck that. Like, no, you've grown up learning French. Your country, your country.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I like that. So I
Yeah.
really don't mind. Like there are some things that I genuinely do, like things a bit dumb about America.
Oh yeah. Big time.
What about the US at least? But that I'm not fussed about that. Like I don't care whether you say flat or apartment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, it's at the
I
end of the
think
day.
like a lot of the terms even now, like if you said fucking something like apartment in the UK, that doesn't sound out of place anymore. You know what I mean?
No, it's like lift
Saying
and elevator,
elevator
isn't it?
doesn't sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
saying elevator. Like I say elevator,
Like it doesn't.
I say apartment.
I think that it's get to a point now where like it's almost become because of the internet more than anything else. It's almost becoming universal. So you talk to other
Yeah,
people about it, and it's like we all know what we mean.
yeah. I mean, there are some things that are a genuine, that are a genuine language barrier. like like
Oh,
like
I
small things like
I
fucking
paid for this in gold, and you say that you can only pay for it in pound coins. What is a
yeah.
coin? I only know ingots.
I only speak fluent American.
Dude, honestly, I need a piss right now.
Another
Oh,
one.
so hard. Another one. But you
No,
know what I'm gonna do?
what?
Keep going, man.
Keep going. All right,
Keep going. Say your
I'm gonna
shit.
keep it going.
I'll be
Would you say
back in
you're
a
going for a
second.
shit?
No. I said speak your shit.
Oh right. So yeah, I'm addressing the listener now. I am quite interested because obviously the three of us are based in the UK. I'm not sure where most of our listeners are from, but I would imagine probably most are from the UK. It's kind of interesting. Like in the UK is like for somewhere so small, we really do have like such fucking big fucking cultures and shit are all around. So many different fucking beliefs. I mean, everyone's belief is valid, uh, unless you voted leave, in which case you're a pleb. It feels weird as fuck doing this. Like we're actually having a serious chat on gentlemen on a bench. You all didn't come here for this, but I promise you, from next week, the content will be back to normal. I have a truly special one for you next week. It's going to be a long one. It is going to be a very long one, but it's going to be like hours of pure fucking content. It's going to be brilliant. It's it's a story. It's not a mystery like Coffee Man. There are kind of loose ends, but which honestly, please stick around for next Thursday. See this absolute shambles of a fucking episode out because next Thursday is going to be iconic. Talking about some of the fucking funniest day of my life, funniest night of my life. Fucking going on about a night out we had. Brilliant. Everything that led up to that. The aftermath of that. It's going to be a mental one. True story, of course. It's a true story, of course. Yeah,
Have
I mean,
we
it kind of. You what?
have we colonized America yet?
No. I was prepping them for next week's one because next
right.
week I'm really looking forward to that. To my story, our story,
Your
our story, my story, the story.
I'm sure Craig's gonna love editing all this.
Yeah, it's chats like this kind of make me think we should have another podcast for actual serious convo. But like the amount of podcasts we're gonna have is gonna be ridiculous. So
Well, we're on episode 3. I mean, we're still discovering what this is. You know, we're still going through the motion. And at this point, it's like, look, sometimes we're going to tell you stories about what we've been through. Sometimes we're going to tell you about, you know, we're going to tell you some funny shit. You know, at the same time, we're going to tell you. We're going to get serious sometimes. This podcast is about us. It's about you, me. It's about Jason. It's about the idea that we are people that like to talk. And I think that's the base of this entire thing. Like, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever we say, you know, you're either on board with us or
yeah. I mean,
you're not. You know.
You're just here for the waffle, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you like what we're talking about, if you like the way we say things, then continue listening, join in. We love to hear you on the social medias and all that sort of stuff. We'd love to hear what you want us to do, what you want us to talk about, and all that sort of stuff. We're all open for that.
We're
At
really
the same
trying to
time,
find out for you.
yeah.
So
I
please
mean,
contact us at Gentleman Bench on Twitter. I can't plug our fucking Twitter enough. And just please tell
absolutely.
us what you want to see. Because
Like-
things like next week's one, I am so certain on. I'm so excited to tell that.
I'm so whatever a Thursday, like literally Wednesday nights are the worst for me because I'm there and I'm like, I need to make sure that I am prepped on Thursday. I need to make sure that I am there, and then because I'm so looking forward to it. I love these podcasts. I love when we get a chance to talk about. And I wish that we had like time just to spit. You know what? I was thinking about this at some point, and this is just rambling at the moment. This is just me spitting things, so it might not actually happen. I'm just saying that for the sake of the podcast that's actually going to go up. But we get to a point where this goes well. Maybe we'll do something live at some point if we get enough people that are interested in that sort of stuff. We'll still put this out on the usual platforms: Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, all that sort of stuff. But an Apple Podcast, that's the only one I was missing out. I felt really awkward mentioning all of those different platforms and then randomly missing out one, as if it was like the awkward child in the room. Like,
Is there anywhere the podcast isn't on yet?
No, you know what? I even think that Google have it because Google Podcasts is a bit awkward. It uses like other podcasting services to sort of host it. So I think it's like the only place where it isn't at is like paid platforms.
Yeah.
And
fuck that. Never gonna be on a paid platform.
Well, I mean that's the thing, right? Like,
well, yeah. At least never. I don't want it exclusive to the platform.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like this when we went into this, it was never meant to be like the sponsorships, the affiliates, everything that we get along it. We are so privileged to have these people on board and say yes to this sort of stuff. Because I want to stress the fact that like whenever we get an affiliate or whenever we put these episodes up, these podcasts, these episodes get processed. Right, so someone out there is scanning for keywords. Someone out there is scanning for what we're saying about who, what, when, where, and why. And it's the internet. It's always going to happen. But the fact that like we're 3 episodes in and Bench is still with us, Duty Sports are still with us. We've got Surfshark as well. Like I'm not just saying that to promote these people, but generally, like we are so privileged to have.
Oh yeah. I realised as well when we were chatting earlier that. Like I know the legalities of this are a bit questionable, and it's not something that we would ever do. But we could promote something very, very well in such a candid way that it doesn't even come across as a promotion.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really think we could. But obviously we wouldn't. But
Yeah.
like, we just,
I mean,
especially you and me,
yeah.
just good at selling shit.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if you know the product, if you like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll talk very quickly about how like the bench like affiliate happened. Like that was insane, and I didn't like I was in so right. I'm remote from home at the moment. My family came over to sort of kind of check up on me. Um, just because with everything that's been happening in and around the world at the moment. So went out and I went into a bench store and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I contacted these people and they got back to us and they were like, yeah,
the
sure.
name Gentleman on a Bench was already set, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So like,
absolutely.
it was just a coincidence that you were able to get that.
It was mad. Like, it was literally within 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, they got back to me and they were like, here's your link, here's your coupon code, go for it. Like, go nuts. Like, we love it. It's great. And that is. I generally think it's because of our podcast name. Because I signed up.
Oh
and
yeah. No doubt. No
Like,
doubt.
because affiliates are a bit weird. They're not exactly sponsors, but at the same time they are. They help us out massively, which is why when you guys you go to like our link tree and you use that sort of stuff, it does help us out quite a bit. So when it comes to like affiliates, it's more like a partnership. It's not like a
Exactly.
sponsorship where
It is a partnership, isn't it? But like,
yeah,
there's no upfront payment. We only get paid if you use our link. So just remember that if you don't, you are keeping food out of my little toddler's mouth.
yeah. And I've got toddlers as well. We all got toddlers. Jason's got toddlers. Craig.
Jason's kids are in their 30s by now, but they still live for him.
Craig is a toddler.
Craig is purely child exploit,
Craig's free.
child labor.
We hired him from the second he developed muscle. So
He was bred with the purpose of this podcast.
We are going to get some investigations at some point.
Aye. Hey, if anyone does want to sponsor the podcast, reach out to us at Gentleman Bench on Twitter.
Absolutely, and
just as long as if your brand is shit, don't even bother because we're just gonna laugh at
you. We also want to stress that sponsorship is one thing, but also if you've got something that you think is a talking point, bring that forward as well. I'm not just talking like casual conversation wise, but if you think that your brand or something like that is like worthy of us talking about it, like bring it forward.
No,
we will chat about anything.
Yeah, we don't have to like. I don't know how you two feel, but I don't think we need payment for something like that. You know what I mean? Just have a chat about it.
No. Well, I mean, the affiliate, like, put it this way: a sponsorship is something where you get paid in advance. You get a proportion of like an expected fee of like, okay, you get paid this much, and you expect to bring in this much traffic. So you get paid as much as they expect the traffic to roll in, if that makes sense. Whereas like an affiliate, it's sort of like you get as much as you give. So
yeah, that's why. But it allows so much freedom. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like we can talk about absolutely anything, and they do not give a crap, and it is beautiful.
Yeah, like our like obviously like I still make sure not to like swear in my sponsor segment out of respect and that. But
I mean,
you look at our sponsor our sponsor segments compared to most, and ours are actually fucking entertaining because they're not giving us a script. We have the freedom to just fucking have fun with it. I see it like we were back in college, just being given like an assignment that you have free reign to film.
100%.
Like
no restrictions. You just go for it. Like when when Saul says that we've got freedom, when we've got free range to do whatever we want with this, he means it. It is insanely good. Like, put it this way: when I was typing up my adverts, there was no censor in my mind. Like, obviously, like you don't want to you don't want to make it you don't want to make it explicit. You know, you want to make sure that you deliver the product well. I'm listening to myself talk at the moment, and it sounds so shit. But it's like, do you want to make sure that you hammer home why you agreed to be an affiliate with them and what they can offer the audience in return? Because put it this way, we don't always get like coupon codes and stuff like that, but we want to talk to you guys a lot about like, hey, these guys have got a great offer on at the moment, and if you use our code, if you use our link, you know, we benefit from it too. And that's the partnership. That's what's great about it. And that's all they care about. That's all we care about. You know, we love these brands. We love the people that we talk about.
Indeed, like we're so lucky right now that we have the time to do this.
I
Because
bet you.
if we'd started this at any other time, we may not have been able to do that.
Oh, absolutely not. Like
So I think for now it's brilliant, but if we're looking distant future, may come a point where it would have to be viable. You know what I mean? Because we'd have to be putting so many other things on hold. And I have no plan of stopping the podcast at all.
Neither do I. Honestly, like,
you know,
this
if
is
it ever
so...
comes a time where we fucking make a Patreon or whatever, like,
yeah,
just know that is basically us going, fucking, you're our last hope.
well, I mean, it could be the complete opposite as well. Like, if we do particularly well, then it's like, hey, we want to give you guys something more, but we acknowledge at the same time that it's at the expense of our free time, because at the end of the day, we're still students. We're still people that need. We need to do things for a living, you know.
I'm not a student.
Yeah, but
So this is like every second of my time is time that I should be making money, or could be.
But that's
like,
the thing, though.
you know,
Like
this
that.
is-
That's it's
I
not
don't
like a
know.
last. Yeah, we're not using these affiliates as like a last resort. Is what we're trying to say. And if we make a Patreon, it's not out like it's a last resort as well. If we make a Patreon, it's because we're doing something extra. It's not because we're like, put it this way: these podcasts are always going to be free. Never worry about that. They are always going to be free, and we are never going to put like a delay on when these come out. So like, we're not going to put these episodes out on Patreon and go like, oh, you can listen to them early if you pay a certain amount. That's never going to happen because we want this to be free range. However, if we're going to do something extra on top of this, then it's like, okay, that's when the line starts to blur a little bit, but it's not going to be to the point where it's like, we're not going to make it permanent. So say like we talked about, you know, moving out on the bench, box sets on the bench. If we do stuff like that, sure, okay, we may make them a few days earlier on something like Patreon if that were to ever happen, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that's going to be there as only paid content. Wait a few days and it'll come out for free. You know, it's small incentives, very, very tiny incentives is what we're trying to say, because we love doing this. This is a hobby as much as it is. Yeah, absolutely. But
I think for we do spend probably over half our time on the podcast just chatting about money,
massively,
people that are giving us money,
but it's
fucking where people can spend their money.
It's very realist though. Like,
yeah. Like, we're not sugarcoating anything. You know what I mean? We're not pretending that the obstacles and such aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
something
part
you
of
said reminded me though that you said not put anything on hold. That reminded me that like big YouTubers and that, but I know especially with YouTubers at least, the amount of like YouTubers that will like record their videos and then not upload them until they get a sponsor for it is ridiculous. Is mad to
It's
me.
mad.
Like
It
if you
makes
ever see a
yeah.
YouTuber that seems like they like sometimes will go 2 weeks without a video, and then other times will pump the shit out of them. It is entirely because they're not willing to put it out without a sponsor.
It's why we're
think it's
willing to go like above and beyond for this. Like it's one of those things where you see people start like a podcast, YouTube channel, or a show, and then they're promising all these things like, "I will never change."
Yeah,
And then,
bullshit.
like, yeah, absolutely. But like, I will live and die by the fact that, like, look, as long as we can, like, every Thursday, an episode of some kind will be out, and if there isn't, we will explain why in the previous podcast or in the future podcast. Like, there will be a reason out there on the internet somewhere why we can put up an episode on a specific day. But regardless of that, we're never going to make this a paid exclusive. You know, like if we ever go towards the route of, like, once again, like Patreon or anything like that, it will only be because we're going above and beyond. You know, we're doing something out of our way. At the moment, like, yeah, we spend a lot of time talking on this podcast, but bear in mind that, like, we allocate time for it. You know, so if we're doing anything extra, that's allocating
Oh yeah, yeah.
more of our time.
The time as well is mental. Like if we record an hour episode, we are actually at the mic for what 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be our longest episode yet.
Yeah,
Without
but there's hours more, and Scott has actually done the editing and processing for these 3 episodes so far. So the extra time he puts in is also mental. And going forwards, though, at least after this one, at least we're going to be doing our own. I'm gonna do mine. Jason does his. You do yours. Because the time
It's
that it's costing you is going to be mental.
it's something that I don't mind. Like honestly, the time editing these, a lot of it depends on the topics that we talk about. A lot of it depends on the length it goes on for. And
Well, I'm like very, very like adamant that I don't want anything cut out of them.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like, we want this to be
Then
candid.
yeah, there's still other things that you do have to edit, like the ads and all that other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the ads is probably like the most difficult thing to slot in by far. But even so, when we do something like that, it's not like it's a pain. You know, it's something where it's like, okay,
But to me, they're the most fun parts. You know what
yeah.
I mean? They really
Don't
are
get
the
me
most
wrong.
fun
Like,
parts.
editing the ads is the best. Editing the ads by themselves is the best part of this entire thing. Like, we're chatting as well. Of course, the recording of the podcast is great, but you do have, like, this in the back of your mind when you're recording something like this, just ticking clock, where you're like, okay,
Oh, fucking most definitely. Like, I'm well aware now. Like, I am aware every second that we're on the podcast of just how long we're waffling.
But at the same time, you need to sort of like switch that up and realize, look, if you're listening on a streaming service, if you're listening on any service whatsoever, there's a pause button. You know, if you can't listen to this in one go, hit pause, come back to it. Like, we have ad breaks for a reason. We have things like that for it. It's not just because we are being sponsored or we have an affiliate, but we have these breaks so that
No,
we
yeah, that's why. Like when Jason was doing it, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when Jason was doing
No,
it,
go for it.
and I was like, bro, you should. Do you want to say your ad segment now?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because that is a time, not only for that, but the timing of them is important to me because that is like, I don't know, almost an encouragement or a reminder that you can hit the pause button. Like this is a place that you can pause it. That if you come back to it, you don't have to, like rewind it at all or get a refresher. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And especially because we have, I mean, like we've had like an hour like where we have that break where we just waffle or do whatever before we come back. So it's like we are also coming back to it.
It's an excuse to give ourselves a bit of a break as well, because when you have a conversation with someone, you can talk for an extremely long amount of time with someone about absolutely anything, but we are completely aware that like it'll get to a point where if we were talking about the same thing for like an hour straight, you know, you might go a little bit cross-eyed. That's not to say that applies to absolutely everything. I mean, I personally, whenever I record a podcast on anything, whether it be this, whether it be on my channel, that's not a plug, but whenever it comes to something like that,
you
it's
better
like,
be paying if you plug in, bro.
yeah, I plug in. But times are relevant. You know, you have a pause button. If you can't listen to this in one go, then hit pause, come back to it later on. You know, you talk as long as you need to about anything. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast in the first place, because I knew that we are talkers. You know, we are.
Jason, not so much, but me and you are massive talkers.
Big time. I mean, we're getting him there though. Like,
yeah, he's really kind of interesting for it, because if it were just you and me,
yeah,
I feel the conversations would be a lot more fluid.
yeah.
Like you and me are a lot so much more comfortable doing something like this than he is.
Absolutely.
But
It's
like, at the same time, he does also bring things to it. You know what I mean?
big time.
He will
It's
do
like we
even
said
more when
before.
it's...
Yeah, it's like we said before with like his one-liners and stuff like that. He comes up with some really great shit.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where he's at his best when he doesn't realize it's being recorded. But at the same time, I would never put him in a position where I would tell him that we aren't recording him. You know, I would. We need to build. We need to build him up, and I feel like that at the start of this episode, he was peak. Like he went for it, and he's getting there. He's getting there so close.
That's the thing. To the audience, it doesn't seem like much, but to us, it's like when we came back from the ad break for the sponsor segment.
Yeah,
I remember I'd spent ages before, didn't I, telling him like kind of how to say and like to just bring energy in that, and he did. Like I remember, like, and if you listen to it back, you'll see like he starts saying it like kind of like him, and then halfway through it, he's like, and he goes high energy for a bit, which is like really, really out there for him.
I think that's partially because he starts becoming an audience member. He starts listening to me talk. Yeah,
massively. Like, but in real life, he's just the same, isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if
like we always used to joke that we'd forget he was there sometimes, like when we were in person.
Yeah. Like he is when he involves himself into a conversation, it's great. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? We understand where he's coming from. We understand what he's doing, and he does things his own style. He crops in occasionally, and it's nice having him on the podcast in general. He is
most definitely. He needs to sort his fucking microphone out.
Oh, big time!
But it is very nice having him on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just as much his as ours. You know what I mean?
It's literally like we have three different personalities. Like I'm the let's say I'm the showman. You're the announcer. Let's say you're the I don't know. You bring a lot of energy to this, way more than me and Jason do combined.
Yeah, I would say that. I'm just a loud person in general, aren't I? And I'm kind of I do definitely bring the energy, but
yeah. It's
everyone brings their own thing.
Yeah, and Jason shows up with his once again his one-liners. He has a wit about him that I don't think he realizes he has. And,
most definitely.
Like if he brings that forward, like trust me, he'll be in his prime when that happens.
Oh yeah.
I believe it can happen.
like when we were in that ad break and we were speaking about the person that we were speaking about at the start of the episode, and like
Yeah.
you're saying a similar thing, and I was like, she is like so much smarter than she lets across. That's kind of the same with Jason. Like he's like
Now,
even though he draws inwards, he has a lot to punch out with as well. Do you know what I mean?
massively. Like, we know we can get there, and we know that he will do. It's just
Oh
a
yeah,
matter of time.
I'm curious if we did a poll on Twitter at Gentleman Bench. I'm curious who people's favourite presenter would be and who they'd find the most annoying.
Oh, you're probably best. I'm probably the most annoying.
No. I think whoever people find as their favourite will also be the one they think is most annoying.
Interesting.
Like I think, yeah, because I think like well, you said me. I think that I could see why I would be people's favourite. I'm the high energy and all that, but at the same time, the opposite people to them would be like, he's so fucking annoying, or
Nah.
why is he speaking over everyone?
But
Or could you just bring it down? There's no way you speak like this in real life. Which I mean, I absolutely do.
our
And I
entire
think it would
podcast
be.
is us talking over the top of each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. That's what a conversation is. You know, you butt in when you think you've got something to say. You shouldn't be shy about that.
Yeah.
Like, if people are annoyed that we butt over the top of each other and then we talk over the top of each other, literally have a conversation with like 3 people in a room at one time. That's what it's like, and that's not a bad thing. That just means that everyone's got something to say, and
Oh
it's
it's
not.
I want to add something. I just put it into that.
Yeah, but it's fine because it's like I it's not even like it's not a rude thing whatsoever. It's a conversation. That's what happens.
Yeah. It's how we are in person, isn't it? And it's not like it's just how it is, isn't it?
Well, if we've
It's
got
how it
something
is.
important to say, we will shut everyone down. And just be like,
and like there's levels as well. Like if you
yeah.
like if we just want to say something, we'll still say it. If no one else shuts up, it is what it is. If there's something that we really want to say, we make sure everyone else is fucking silent while we say it.
Well, put it this way, if it's a priority, it's going to be there, regardless of how long it takes us to actually say it, even if it comes out as complete, like everyone else is like, where the fuck did that come from? The timing's way off. We said that about 5 years ago. It'd be like, no, I'm going to say it because I held on to it at this point.
Yeah. Oh my god! It's been a while since the 3 of us were like together, but do you remember with Jason when he's very quiet and to himself, but when there's something that he wants to say, he will say it. And if like say with me, I will just speak louder than people, and I'm not adverse to telling them to shut up if I want to say something. Whereas Jason will say it, and if no one shuts up, he will say it again.
Yeah.
And if no one acknowledges it, he will say it again.
Yeah.
He will just say it and say it and say it until everyone finally clocks on. Or one of us just goes, yeah, we heard you like 10 times ago, bro. It just wasn't funny.
Well, the thing is,
He will just say it and say it. It's brilliant.
I think that's the one thing he hasn't done in this podcast as well. Like, you listen to the previous episodes and he just talk, and he like as I said, you can hear what he says and it's great, but it's just timing. He just needs to, he needs to have the confidence to like slam us down to be like, no, you listen to what I have to say.
It's fully just confidence. It's fully just confidence.
And he's getting there. He's a YouTuber. Like, I can watch one of his videos all the way through because he is entertaining. When
I've
he
got
wants
the
to be,
notification bell turned on. I watch them all.
say man, like when he wants to be, he is top tier. But that's the thing. It's when he wants to be, and he's getting there. But it's the same for loads of people. Like, we know so many people that are like, they suppress themselves, and we know what they can be.
It's quite. I find it quite sad.
I think it's cathartic in a way. Like, put it this way, like, I think that's sort of like I don't believe in like any higher form or whatever. But if I if I make friends with someone like that, or if I see that they are a kind person, I do my best. I don't try to make it awkward for them. I don't push them into awkward situations. But I make them feel confident. You talk to them, you befriend them, you make them feel like that they are wanted in a way, that they they have the ability to talk when they need to, and they've got that person to be around. Because to be honest, like, I don't know, I've lived up to a point in my life now where I know that makes me sound fucking ancient.
Because you're old bastard.
I've lived up to a point in my life now where I look out at my farm and I think to myself, fucking Bessie hasn't been horny in a few years now and she needs some cattle. I'm gonna get a few bulls around. I don't know what I'm on about anymore. My life is a lie. Anyway, so I just think like there's enough self-awareness around me. I pride myself on the ability to be able to read a room to an extent where I'm like, okay,
I'm sorry. I'm swear an hour ago you were saying you don't recognise people there.
No. Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, that's one of the reasons why like college was so special, because everyone felt like someone out of the sitcom, right? Everyone had a personality
bro, the
type.
B team especially that first year, bro.
Big time.
Everyone, and it's like almost everyone was like very drawn in, and then like it was nice seeing like the most reclusive personalities become so much bigger as well.
Oh,
Like,
massively.
even though I don't speak to most of them anymore, it was very nice. Like weren't we gonna like a few of us at least discussed getting B team tattoos.
Yeah.
Like we loved it that much.
Hey, if we had like the group of B team like up for it, I'd be there down. But it's one of those things where I don't know, like I it's very personal to me still, because there were a lot of people from college that kept me sane in a way. I want to say, like the cousins for one, both of them, like they are on my shit constantly. Whenever something goes on, like it's like there's a side to people that you just don't know until you know them. When you actually talk to them, when you break them out, it's like you and me. Like when we first started talking, I felt like holy shit, like we were a presence that were there, but until we actually
you on about today?
No.
right.
I mean in general, like when you and I, like our presence was always there, like we were always felt, but when we started talking to each other, it's like fucking worlds collide, mate. Like the room shook. I think teachers were sort of like scared.
Yeah.
Because we were the two people in the class that like when we were the people that talked, So when we were together, it's like fuck. They both have opinions.
Just very loud people. Very very opinionated people. Very strong personalities. We were just I mean I can see why a lot of people would not like us, but just so happened that in fact we were kind of destined, thinking about it, to either become bezies or to end up fucking hating each other. Like
big time.
Us being like this could have went either way, but I'm glad it went the way it did.
Same. Like when I think about like the people that I still end up talking to now, like okay, not everyone that I wanted to talk to, or not everyone that I got on initially. Like we don't talk to each other the same way, but we had like when we talk to this podcast, especially, like you can hear what our our humor is like, our banter is like, but I still feel like that we have a level of maturity surrounding us that's like, look, we're self-aware to know right from wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about explicit shit all the time because it's like, look, language is language. Like, we swear, we talk about shit like wanking, we talk about that sort of stuff, but it's like, look, that's like, you don't know, you know? It's like everyone knows that.
I think the very first words I said to you today were, "I'm just wiping my bum hole."
Yeah, literally. Like, the beauty of a sort of like a relationship like this is that we know, like, there's no barriers, you know. It's
Yeah,
fucking gone. Like, any brick wall in the world, it's gone. We can talk about absolutely anything, and
yeah,
I stick by that belief. Like, if I'm going to be talking on a podcast, if I'm going to be talking about absolutely anything, it's like, look, expect me to say how I feel about absolutely anything and the way I feel about that, and expect me to respect you with how you feel about anything or anything like that. Because everyone has a right to talk. Everyone has a right to talk about absolutely anything. But at the same time, there's a morality around the world that
yeah.
is like
That's kind of what I must have, because when you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, I think everyone has the right to talk, but
that
I
doesn't
am,
mean everyone's right.
yeah, and I
Yeah, yeah,
despite what might be the right thing to believe, I do not respect everyone's beliefs.
absolutely.
I really do not. Like, I know it's the right thing to say. Oh, you know what? I might not agree, but I respect your beliefs. I
Yeah,
don't. I
sorry,
don't.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Like, I respect the fact that everyone has the right to talk. That doesn't mean that I respect what everyone believes in.
Yeah, no, I
It's
don't. I think I
the,
do not. If your belief is wild or
oh,
destructive,
yeah, yeah.
I do not respect it.
I mean, that the last few years have really like shaken things up to like both sides in the extreme, and it's been mad. It's been absolutely mad. Like, it's insane to think that, like, I don't know, because when I was brought up, I had like, it was like a series of epiphanies when I was younger. You know, it wasn't necessarily by my family, because, you know, everyone's family. Look, if your parents are above the age of like 50, trust me, they have a mindset on at least one thing that's a little bit like, what the fuck. But
Yeah.
but
My parents are both early 40s.
yeah. But it's like, as I was growing up, like, I, it was like a series of surprises, you know. It's like, oh fuck, racism is a thing. Oh fuck, sexism is a thing. Oh fuck, this is the thing. Oh, it's like, how? Like, and I am privileged in a way that, like, I I grew up to a point where it's like humanity came first in my mind.
Yeah.
And that is a privilege. That's absolutely a privilege. I'm not going to deny that one bit, because some people grow up feeling like absolutely vulnerable, like attacked from one way to another. Like,
Oh yeah.
but
It's entirely
it's one of
luck.
those
You know
things
what I mean? Like
where I feel like, it's not a saying, but it's like, you only learn between these ages. It's like, no, fuck that. I'm 23 and I'm going on, and it's like, I'm still learning about the world now. Like, I hope to always be learning about the world. It's nothing about, like, yes, your brain is a sponge when you're younger because that's what your parents
yeah.
teach you. But if I have anything to go off of, my beliefs versus my parents' beliefs are very different, to the point where it's like, no, I can't say that they were, like, yes, they were inspiration to me morally, but I can't say that they were inspiration to me with, like, how I believe about the world today. And it's not like I blame them, because they were probably in the same scenario when they were younger, and their parents before them and their parents before them. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, I feel very passionate about getting the idea of things like equality right. It's why, like, when I talk about media, it's why media is such a passion to me, because whenever I see studios like Disney making a film where they present like Coco or anything like that, they put out a film forward. It's like, look at our diverse cast, like look how amazing they are. It's like, yes, but you're never going to make a film where it's presented in that language, in the language that that culture originates in. You're never going to make any main character gay. You're never going to do anything like that, and you're never going to do it respectfully either. And it fucking pains me to see this. BBC as well. Like, today especially, whenever I watch anything to do with like, oh look, all these people think that like this film is about, this film has like a strong feminist character, and it's like, okay, so what happens when the BBC or Disney make a diverse, strong character? The character has no flaws. That's it.
Yeah.
Literally nothing else. No character. They're perfect at everything. It's not a character. That you're not exploring the backgrounds, okay? Look, you're not exploring like the roots of like, okay, these people can be discriminated upon. These people can take these things on board as a part of their lifestyles. It's not necessarily like you have to make that a central theme to their characters, but it's not like you can ignore that. It's like race swapping characters, like historical characters especially. Kings and queens, when you start doing stuff like that, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you trying to convince me that like it's like making a film like, I don't know, King Henry VIII was actually like a black lesbian? It's like, what the fuck? You realise that you have to put in all this effort now, and I bet you won't. I bet you absolutely 100% won't put in that effort because you're doing it for the clout. You're not doing it because it's respectful. You're not doing it because it's going to help anyone else. You're doing it because it's a brand. Because things like LGBTQ is brand, things like race are brand, sex is a brand now, and it fucking sucks. I know that went on.
That.
I am. I massively am. I know it's weird, but it's really awkward because I'm straight, white, and male, which means I have the least authority on any of this shit. And I'm British as well, which makes it even worse. But I'm Welsh. Let's like I was born in England, but I was raised in Wales. So let's just, I have 0.5% of a say. Let's say that. But when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I see things like protests, when I see things like movies being made, when I see all this sort of shit happening, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, everything reflects. Everything reflects, and if you're not self-aware about this shit, then it's going to get nowhere. If you're making like, you have to be aware of who you are. It is like seeing a bunch of like white male privileged people down the streets blowing up shops because they're using like an agenda as an excuse to do so. And it's like, okay, don't you think that outshadows the people that are actually pissed off about this? Don't you think that actually, like, these people should take priority? Like, you shouldn't. Like, of course, the news is going to like look at. Of course, the news is going to have a look at all of the violent protesters and all this sort of shit, because people at the forefront of this stuff are absolute fucking idiots. When like it completely erases the passion behind the people that are doing all of this shit for a reason. I know I'm off on a weird one at the moment, but
No. I mean, this episode should be called "Just Waffling" or
yeah,
anything similar like that. Just having a chat, going off on it.
like I just think that like whenever I see just so many people taking advantage of other people's problems, and it's like I don't know. In a way, it pisses me off because then it's almost like whenever there's a global issue, whenever someone brings up a genuine problem, you get a company like Disney or the BBC coming forward, and they're like, oh yeah, we totally respect this too. That's why we've made this TV show that just says the problem candidly. Like we just say it in a sentence, and that's enough. And then we get heaps of praise. It's like, no, the attention shouldn't be on you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I get it, mate. I get what you're saying. I feel like there was some examples that you didn't actually want to mention by name.
And I could do, but I like it's one of those things where like I don't want to come across as like a dick, you know.
Yeah.
Like I can just like flat out mention like I think that like in a lot of areas, no, I'll just flat out say it. Fuck it. In a lot of areas, I think that Black Lives Matter didn't go far enough. And then in certain areas, more local, I feel like that I was seeing a lot of people being just absolutely pissed off, queuing up in crowds and stuff like that for the sake of it and not for the cause. And in the back of my mind, it was like, like you don't know how to feel about it because in the one way it's like, okay, it's getting attention, sure, but in another way it's like, yeah, but they're not the people you want to represent your cause. You know,
Yeah, I get
like
you. I think it was especially around here, it was definitely seen as like a trend by a lot of people.
yeah,
And but the thing is, like, seeing all the social media posts, like people very much knew that other people were just going to see it as a trend.
yes,
But it didn't stop it. Like I was at a fairly local Black Lives Matter rally.
yeah,
Like I believe May, and then the next one that was like I don't know 2 weeks later. There just wasn't as much conversation about it. The people had largely moved on to other things,
yeah. It's a
and
Twitter
then
hashtag.
the
People,
second one was basically non-existent.
it's so bullshit. Honest to God, like it's literally each year we'll get like one thing that pops up, like one thing like okay, this is about like underage pregnancies, and the next year it's about feminism, the next year is about Black lives, next year is about Asian lives. It's like you can't just treat it as a trend. These are constant issues. These are things that you can't just let go if you're actually fucking serious about this, even to like a single percent. Then you know, human life is surely you should give a shit about human life on any degree. To the point where it's like if you see a fellow human that is trying to do right, do something. Like anything, even if it's the smallest thing. Like don't let it be a hashtag. Don't let it be something as simple as like, oh, it's going to be 5 seconds on Twitter and then the next day it just dies down, and it pisses me the fuck off. It's like
The way you put that is really interesting because there are a lot of people who have lost their lives and become a hashtag. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
so bullshit.
and the thing about hashtags is that they are, you know, you can be on trend in one day, and the next it's forgotten about. You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah,
it pisses
it's
me
mental.
off.
I think from what and I do apologize if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, when the George Floyd situation was really
Exactly.
big,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
when that like shortly afterwards, I do apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember you having a very opposite stance when that
It
was
it
first
was
going on.
it was more
Could-
local.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like it's the awkwardness of having like when you've got like a certain amount of people on a feed, you know, and you see an opinion come forward. It's not representative of global opinion, and I will fully admit that at that moment in time, I was, I was. I'm not going to say I was wrong to say what I said, but I will say that it was directed at a group of people that I should have been more specific about
Yeah.
because Um,
I appreciate the clarification because like we never really. Because I was like, you know what, he's like you're my bro, obviously,
yeah.
but it's something that to me, like I was very, very sure and passionate about, and
Absolutely.
obviously, like oh fuck, I'm mixed race, like I'm like
Yeah.
mixed white and black, so like
Yeah.
to me it was very, I don't know, important, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no,
Uh,
but that's what
I
fueled
was like, we're probably not going to speak about it again because I was
Yeah.
like, oh well, I value him as a mate too much to
Well, put it this way.
let his opinion get between that. So then
Well,
when I shared
well,
the Rittenhouse
yeah.
verdict, and you were like, fuck it, and you were like really angry with me, I was like, wait, what the fuck? He was on the other
Yeah.
side of this not that long
No,
ago.
no. Like it's one of those things where it's like interpretation of text. You know, it's one of the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
issues
Oh
of
yeah,
the
I
internet.
guess that we never actually spoke about it, did we? It was all
No, no,
texting.
no. Yeah, yeah. So when it came to like things like, well, when it came to Black Lives Matter specifically, when that cropped up, I was 110% there. You know, I was like, no, like this is something that I'm so glad is here.
Yeah.
Like, because like it was something that like it was a movement that like predated its popularity, you know.
Oh yeah. It's been. I mean,
But
it's popped up into the consciousness a few times before George Floyd,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that was when it really cemented it
that
because
was
that's
something
when
that kicked it off.
it went further. Like obviously, you know, there's been fucking steps, but like I don't know. You compare like fucking Trayvon Martin riots to George
Yeah,
Floyd riot, and
yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
fucking massive difference. You know what I mean? Like
It's
the
but that in the way like it's so that's what fueled a lot of my messages back then because a part of me was like when I had people like protesting in the local area, a lot of them were literally like white privileged people taking advantage of it. You know, they were doing it because they were saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go down and protest because they wanted the clout. They wanted to be known as like a good
yeah,
Samaritan."
I'm equally pissed off at that.
And
I
it's
mean, but like on one hand though, it did help
it
spread the message further, but it also helped like
it fueled the wrong
almost
message.
dismantle it. Like yeah, like it was for the people on the opposite side. That was proper ammunition for them.
Big time, and that's why I was trying to like. I was completely aware of what I was saying at the time, and that's why I was trying to bounce that line. Where I was trying to say, look, there is a right and there's a wrong way to do this sort of shit, and I've seen too many people do this wrong, just like locally, and like, look,
So wait, so did you have a problem with rioting? And I don't mean I'm not on about
no. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't an issue with writing specifically. It was an issue with the people that I knew that were writing, like the people
right.
that I knew that were actually going down and doing it for the sake of it. You know, like
Yeah,
pandemic was a thing that locked a lot of people up and made them pissed off and angry. So when all these people use this as a chance to try and write up against the government, it's like, okay, fine, but you're missing the point. Like that's a topic that's relevant for like some of the time, but at the moment it felt almost like offensive to be like, yeah, we're going to smash some buildings in because we have the opportunity to. It's like, no, that's not the point. Like going down and doing this sort of shit, that's not the point in why like they're not doing it for the sake of it. There's a reason behind this, and
yeah,
I was getting pissed off reading article after article, message after message, like post after post of like people that were just doing this purely because it's like, oh, pat myself on the back, like look how good I am. It's like, no, fuck you. It's not about you. It's not
yeah.
about you.
No,
And
I do get it. But I do think as well that people like that, like the whitest, most privileged person anywhere in the
massively.
world, I do think that they should be on board with it. But I just think that as long
Well,
as we're
it's human
serious
rights.
and there's not a trend, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's stupid for anyone to see this over. It's basic human decency, right? You see someone else, regardless of who they are, regardless of what position they're in, regardless of race, gender, anything like that. Like, look, you are doing this to help out someone else who literally has no reason not to be on the same level as you. Has
Yeah.
literally no reason not to be where you are now, because we were born in a world where it's like, look, we've got to go to school, we got to go to high school, we've got to go to college, we got to go to university, even if, for whatever period of time, we got the opportunity to do that sort of stuff, and to have people denied just because of like a top Trump stat. Essentially, it's like,
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, like I was shit. His melanin trumps yours.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Like, it's why it was shit as well, because when it was during a pandemic, I I haven't made this public, and I don't really see a reason to, and I don't want to, because it's no reason to like make it like pity me or anything like that. But I had my own medical reasons why I couldn't go out as much as I wanted to about this, but I donated. I pushed it the way I felt I could. And
Black Lives Matter about.
yeah,
No. Respect that. I kind of wish that would that we had spoken a bit more about this at the time. Now,
I did, like,
I
it's
was
just
I was under the impression that this is just like, if I want to keep him as a friend, this is just a topic we do not speak about. But in reality, that you were like on the same side the whole time.
massively like it.
Fuck's sake.
Like,
But like, it's dumb though, because that's so not an us thing to do. To
as I said,
just
that's why I
have
said,
something and go, oh, we're just not going to speak about it. That's so not us.
that's why I said before, like text. Like the seeing
Yeah.
text on the screen is completely different to verbalization, and I feel like that's a massive issue. With
Yeah.
at the moment, it's great to message people, and if you know the person, you can generally get an idea of where they're coming from. But at the same time, it's like,
Yeah, there's
we never
very
encountered.
specific, like
Yeah,
99% of the time you're gonna get it if you know the person.
we were never in a situation like that before. Like, globally, like before we had met, we were never at a point where anything like that had happened before. So it's hard to know where each other's coming from. But no, like, honest to God, like when that all kicked off, like I was trying to be as realistic as I possibly could about it, because you don't want to say the wrong thing to the people that you know or people that you see, where it's like it fuels their desire to completely take advantage. And at the same time, it's like, no, I'm going to support this cause. Like, I'm going to do everything I can possibly do, short of like sacrificing my own health, or to do something about this, because it's humanity. It's why I'm so passionate about media. It's why I'm so passionate about whenever I watch a film and I see representation about, like whenever you see, once again, Disney, BBC pushing forward, like, oh, look at these big, like, female protagonists. Look at these big, like, LGBTQI plus protagonists. Look at all these people. And it's like, all you've done is made sure that they've had no flaws. So you think that works as a character? No, that is bull fucking shit. Like,
But
you
like,
can,
to be honest though, I don't have a problem with them doing that. There are some things I have a problem with, just as like a fan thing. Like, I think if you're changing something on an existing character, it's
yeah.
fucking stupid. If you're
Oh
making
yeah,
a new character for something
big time.
else, do whatever. But I do think that from a creative standpoint, your no flaws thing is massive, and like making them making them they're a bit goofy, they're a bit clumsy, like that. No, that is not a character flaw.
No. Have you seen No Time to Die?
That's the new Bond, right?
Yeah.
I have not seen that yet. No.
Okay, so no spoilers, but I think that Lashana Lynch, her first scene in it. Generally, if they made a 007 film, and she was 007. Not James Bond, but if she was her own character, I would watch the shit out of that. I think that they fuck it up in the latter half of the film. Like, they get some things right with what they're trying to go for, but in the latter half of the film, I think they fuck it up. But the first part of it, I generally think that she's an actress that, okay, as a person, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that she's been saying, but I think that as an actress, if she were to take on that role, if that character were to become a new 007, for example, I'd be all over that shit. Honest to God, like, she sells it so hard, and I think that's the difference that people need to realize. Is you get characters that's like, oh, it's like recently they've been trying to make Michael B. Jordan as like the new Black Kal-El Superman, and it's like, but there's black Superman characters out there, and you can't make the excuse that, like, oh, but they're not popular enough. No one knew about the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy until they made that film, and they were established characters. And
that's the point. Actually, I don't know. I'm not really into those types of films myself.
Yeah,
but I have no choice but to be informed about them. Really.
Yeah, it's a big part of media at the moment.
Yeah, like a few, I don't know how many, but a few years ago, it seemed, at least from my perspective, like they really went from just milking established characters and franchises to going, you know what, this is a pretty unpopular, unheard of fucking comic character. Let's bring them into it.
Yeah. It peaked, in my opinion anyway, it peaked at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like, one of my favourite comic book characters growing up was Miles Morales, because I had read, one of the comic books that I read growing up was Ultimate Spider-Man, which was a reinterpretation.
Is he black in the comics?
Yeah.
Right.
But something that I was a bit iffy about with the film was how they introduced him. So in the comics, Ultimate Spider-Man was a reinterpretation of Peter Parker. It's the modern interpretation of Peter Parker's storyline. So, you know, the Tobey Maguire films, the Andrew Garfield films, they're based on Ultimate Spider-Man because it's a modernization of it. Right. But it went for, I think it went for like over 100 issues, but it had an ending to it. You know, it had a definitive ending, and then when they introduced Miles Morales, it was so goddamn natural, because they said, look, he's a character that isn't just like passing the torch. It's not just like, oh, well, now this person's gone, and because it's trendy to have diverse characters now and all this sort of stuff, we're going to make a new Spider-Man Black. It's like, no, he was in the background. He wasn't an established character, but they did this run on Miles Morales where literally the first few issues were just him being a character. Like, it didn't have anything to do with his race or anything like that. They established that his race was a factor into where he lived and the choices which have made him the way he is. But that it wasn't the point of his character. You know, he was. Yeah. It was. I think that the original Miles Morales comic book storyline is one of my favorite comic book storylines. Period. Because the way he becomes Spider-Man is so great. Initially, he wears Peter Parker's, like, an interpretation of Peter Parker's Spider-Man costume, and people are like, "You can't be. He died, like, for all of us. You can't do that. That's really, like, that's offensive."
Well, Spider-Man died for our sins.
Yes, actually.
What?
It was really tragic. But the trauma is the thing that made Miles Morales think like, fuck, like, maybe I should, because I'm in a state where it's like I don't have the same opportunities as people around me. Maybe I should use that as my force. I should use that as my driving point. Like, and that was great. That was a great way to interpret and bring forward that sort of force into something like this, because he wants to bring safety to a period. He was like protecting like initially the Harlem area of New York, and then he went around to expand to New York when he became professional Spider-Man. So he's going around this area being like, mate, like, you see all these people that, like, sure, Spider-Man wasn't like prejudiced or anything like that, but no one lives the same life as the next person along. Yeah. So he was taking all of that on board, and it gets to a point where literally I don't. When it comes to media, it's hard to make me cry. Miles Morales and
don't cry.
dude, Toby, get out of here.
I love them, bro. I love the Toby ones.
Dude, we're gonna do it.
I don't like Super Film, but I fucking love the Toby Spider-Man.
We're gonna do it at some point. Moving out on a bench, don't you worry. But yeah, I've cried 3 times when I've read a comic. 3 times, and it's
from reading it.
Yeah, honest to God,
shit.
it's because of the build-up. Because when you read them week to week, you have a gap in between everything, and then when Miles Morales, there's a point in the story where he realizes. Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse?
No.
Okay. Do you care about a minor spoiler?
No.
Okay, his uncle is a supervillain, and his parents are eventually brainwashed by Hydra. So a modern Nazi force essentially. But he gets to that point, and then you realize this, and it's not like Peter Parker, where it's like, oh well, he's Peter Parker, he can overcome a lot of things because that's what we expect of him. Miles Morales is like the most vulnerable person in the Marvel universe at this point. So when he realizes that his family are evil, like he has like this mental breakdown, and it is. Like, you want to write a character, that's how you fucking do it. And now they're like, he's got this like really amazing established like first few story arcs, and now Disney are going to be out here like, Miles Morales is black, we can do something with this. like, no, fuck off. He's got this amazing character, and I think that out of all of the new age comic book characters that have happened, all of the new characters where they've been like, oh, what happens if we make Superman this? What happens if we make Batman this? What happens if we do this and this? And in order to make characters more diverse, Miles Morales was the one that was like, he's ahead of his time, and he still is now. I wish that media took like an example from this sort of stuff, because now I watch Doctor Who.
Don't even. No.
I'm not going to.
Don't even, bro. Don't even, bro.
I know that's
cutting. Don't even, bro.
I'll just say that like I died in the first series of Chibnall's Run. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go into a rant about it, but I'll just say that like if the way the world reacted to that show hurt me, because that was the day when I realized that like, okay, you know what, humanity might actually be fucked. Like we might actually be heading.
Wait, what are you on about now? You want about? I should have actually let you speak instead of doing that. You want about when Whittaker came in?
No. So yes and no. So I'm not on about her being a woman. I have no quarrel about that. No, like
I do.
Fair enough.
I think there's no need to make Doctor Who a fucking. That's what I was on about earlier, making an established character something else. There was no need to do that.
I think with the Doctor, the difference is that there was never a precedent for it. So you could have made her a female long ago, and there was no reason not to. Just at times, I have no reason to do it. It's about the writing, because the idea is that something that Chris.
Honestly, I speak to my mate, so much about Doctor Who, about how they've ruined it with Whittaker in every fucking way.
Literally, my issue isn't with so Doctor Who is like a multi-breakdown thing for me because I have so many issues with it. Jodie Whittaker isn't the actress to play the Doctor, because the style of actress she is. So when you think about Chris Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and even Peter Capaldi to an extent, like I don't like Stephen Moffat's writing. So when Matt Smith came in up till Peter Capaldi, I don't like his writing, but the actors that played the Doctor, they knew for a fact that the Doctor has an established character. Jodie Whittaker reads lines on the script. That's all she does. She is not a character.
I want to say though, I think that she is a good actor.
Yes, I
And
think
she
that she
has good
can be a
roles,
great
but she
actress.
was not the actress for this.
Dude, Attack of the Block is one of my favorite films.
Bro, Attack the Block.
Like literally,
I was
like
literally thinking when I was like when I was saying she's a good actor, what I was thinking is she's fucking sick in Attack the Block.
literally, and like seeing like that was my introduction to her. So when I heard that she was going to be the Doctor, my mind was like, "Fuck yes, let's do
Yeah,
it."
same. But that was
So,
the same fucking shock I had seeing her. Because Attack the Block is like it's fairly big in Britain, but it is like it
it's
is British. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like that's not
Mate,
appealing to like a
they,
US market.
we
So when
somehow ruined every single actor and actress that was in that fucking film. Like
yeah,
John Boyega,
yeah, bro, my shock to seeing him in Star Wars, I was like, what? Like, I'm glad, but like, this is like Moses, bro, and Attack the Block. Like, what is he doing? And like leading Star Wars.
we somehow this is why people say like Hollywood ruins people. Like you see, like John Boyega, like literally one of the most like I think personally, like look, just let him do his own thing because he is amazing. Just let him do something, like because whenever you see him in Star Wars, whenever you see him in anything for that matter, I know he's been in a few indie films in the last few years, but when he's doing his own thing, he's like, dude, he's amazing. But when he's being governed, when there's like a pair of eyes on him and he's reading a fucking script, and he's like, they. At some point, we're going to do a very, very longer than this discussion on like the Star Wars films, right? Because he should have been the center of that trilogy.
I might have to do some research because I did not watch them. I watched the first one. I thought it was awful, so I didn't watch the other two.
I was one of the people that came out Force Awakens, and my mind was like, really? You find that you like that? Really?
Yeah, I think the thing is with me is that I seem to be unaffected by that.
By the hype.
Yeah, there was about that new syndrome, like the new thing syndrome earlier or whatever, where people overrate things just because it's just new. I'm unaffected by that, so I saw that as the shit it was.
I wish people would stop doing that with Doctor Who. Like every single time whenever I see an episode come out and people are being like, "This is the greatest episode yet," and I'm just there like, "Mate, fuck off." Like Doctor Who for me. Right, this is the way it went. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that I've got a very particular taste when it comes to Doctor Who. So Paul McGann, the Eighth Doctor, who was starred in the Doctor Who TV movie.
Yeah, I'm for reference. I only know from Eccleston forwards.
Yeah, that's fair. He was the Doctor before Eccleston. So basically, what they did is they did the classic run, and then they did a TV film to try and Americanize it, and it didn't work. So then they rebooted it later on with Christopher Eccleston.
Right.
Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor in that TV film. Okay, the film itself was shit, but Paul McGann went on to do audio dramas. So like episodes of Doctor Who, but audio only. So you get a full cast in there, sound effects and all. And I swear to God, he's the best Doctor. He's like a poet. He's romantic, but also he does not give a shit about the environment around him. He's still very much the same kind of Doctor as you'll come to expect from Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith going forward. But he's young. I guess is the way to say it. Like he's pre-war. So he's skipping around the universe and he's just having a blast. And it's so great to hear him actually get his comeuppance after the shit show that was the film. And then we've got Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, which I love the pieces. I understand why he stepped out. I understand why he's not going to be a part of the TV stuff longer because BBC fucked him over. David Tennant, he is David Tennant, say no more. Like, he could be in anything and I'd be like, you know what? You sold it for me. Like, he could be in the shittest thing ever, and he's Matt Smith, I thought he was good for the first season he was in. At least the first half of the first season he was in.
Well, Matt Smith is my personal favourite.
I don't like
I
Stephen Moffat's writing.
I did. I thought they did a lot of things very well. Like I think that I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I liked pretty much everything. Like I liked I liked the Doctor. I liked the sidekicks. I liked the monsters.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like when it comes to like some of the best companions that I think of, I think Amy Pond is up there, like big time. I think that the only issue which I had with Rory was the fact that he was a character that was dependent upon Amy Pond's character. If you had an episode where it was Rory and the Doctor just doing something, then maybe you could have established that further. They sort of did that at one point.
I didn't think it had to be like I feel really sorry for Rory. For the story standpoint, but I think that he's a bit of a cuck, though. Let's be honest, he's a bit.
Oh yeah.
But no, not a cuck, a bit of a fucking simp.
I'll be fully honest. I don't know how you feel about this, but the point when I just went, okay, I realise that Stephen Moffat it probably isn't the best writer for this now. That you should move on, and that we should have someone else. Is when Clara stepped in. I was like,
"Oh God, yeah! No. Everything after, I spoilers alert. But everything after Amy and Rory got fucking zapped, right?
Yeah, big time.
That does not count. That is, I'm not accepting that as existing.
I think that the last season with Peter Capaldi with Bill, I think that was a step in the right direction. I'm not saying it was great, but I think that like the final episodes with Peter Capaldi's Doctor, I didn't like the spoilers, which the BBC kept putting out with like things like once again spoilers, but the Master and stuff like that. But I liked the finale to Peter Capaldi's run.
I stopped watching it like halfway through his run.
I got to talk to him last year actually. As part of like we did like there's like an invitation thing as a part of the course, and a few people got to talk to him in the Zoom chat, and I swear to God, he is like you can tell he's passionate about it. He's a swearer as well. Like he loves using fuck.
Oh, he's Scottish, isn't
he? Yeah, it's great.
Oh no, I was playing fucking Red Dead Online with some people the other day, and I find out that they're Scottish. They found out they're Scottish and that, and then we'd been having a chat and playing together for like I don't know a few days, a week or whatever, and like fully, it was these two people in particular, and I thought they were husband and wife.
Yeah.
Like they seemed really close. They seemed like they slept at least in the same room, like they did everything. That when one would go offline, the other one would go offline, and that.
Yeah.
Turns out that they're actually brother and sister, and I'd referred to them as I'd referred to one of them as the other one's wife to him.
Oh my God!
And he was like, "Ew," and I was like, "What?" And then the other one. She was like going ew and all that, and I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And she's like, "That's my brother." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I was just like, "Wait, isn't that the same thing in Scotland?" And they did not take that very well at all. Jesus Christ, they did not take that very well.
Are they the people I think they are?
I don't know. It's not anyone that you know in real life, no.
Okay.
Wait, who did you think it was?
Ginger People College.
No.
Yeah.
This is recently.
Okay, because I knew some people that thought like a similar thing about them as well.
Wait, hold on. Ginger People College.
Yeah, first year.
Yeah, but they were going out, weren't they?
Yeah. I know, but there were people that thought that they were.
That they were brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss them. You know, I do.
Same.
uh, uh, Sister Ginger, I guess that's what she's called now. I used to fucking. I used to play COD with her so much, right? Would fucking no, legit, because like I don't sleep very much and that,
Yeah.
and like she didn't either. So like we would like start playing like Black Ops 2 Zombies together at like I don't know, like 10 at night or something, and then we would literally play it until like 7 in the morning. At which point I have to like go and run to my bus.
Yeah.
And like and it was at the point and she would as well, but like like her attendance wasn't that great and that because of like
Yeah.
various stuff.
Yeah.
So like whenever she'd missed a period, like missed a day, if like the teacher asked her why she wasn't in, she'd be like, "Oh, it was zombie day. Oh, it was zombies last night. Oh, yeah, it was zombies last night," and she just full on knew what it was. Like she like our form teacher, I guess you'd call her, PT for the second year. You know what I'm on about?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she was really sound with that stuff. Be like, oh, it was zombies. It was just accepted. It was just accepted. Yeah, that was mental. Like, fucking, yeah, that was mental. And the other one as well, Brother Ginge. He was sound
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, big time.
Never.
I still remember like some of the last words he said to me before I never saw him again. It was like, oh, okay.
Go on. I'm pretty sure you said it before, but
Yeah. So he backed up into me. I can't remember why. I think we were taking a picture or something like that, and like he just like put it this way, his arm just went past my it's explicit, my crotch, and he just like turned around and he was just like for a solid 10 minutes just complimenting me on my penis.
oh yeah, I remember you saying about that.
Like I
No, he
was
was
like,
sound as
oh
well.
okay. Yeah, big time.
I don't think I spoke to him since they broke up.
No, like I
I
like
kind of wish I did. Like, it was sound as fuck.
since they both left, like it was weird as well because I think that when they left, that's when he friended me on Facebook, and I never talked to them. It wasn't because I didn't want to or anything like that, but it's because it's like
Well, you never spoke to them like in college and that. You weren't like.
Oh no,
close
no,
with
yeah,
them?
yeah, I did talk to them. Yeah. No. I was going to say like I never talked to them afterwards, and it's not because I didn't want to, but it's because you get like 100 and like God knows what friends on Facebook. You're just there like, everyone swarms, and they've all got their own lives, and
Yeah. It's difficult. Like, there's like B team was like 30 strong in that. Like,
big
can't
time.
cannot like as much as I'd like to, you just cannot maintain that level of friendship with that many people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the people that I talk to aren't necessarily the same people that you still talk to, and vice versa. It's like I talk to the cousins still quite a bit, and they have been sort of like my sanity rock through a lot of things that happened. But I mean,
yeah, I don't really speak to the cousins. No,
yeah,
I mean, like I would, like they were sound as fuck. Just
honestly, like give
yeah.
them a shout at some point because they are.
I think
they're important.
I could be mistaken. I think I said something that really pissed off the Hogwarts cousin.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I think I did.
No idea, to be honest.
No.
I talk about you to a lot of people, and everyone seems sound. So,
Really?
yeah, honestly.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, as I said, at the start of this episode, or at some point in this episode, this is the longest episode.
Oh, this is massive. Bro, Beckett left almost 2 hours ago. This is mental. Like, when he left was like the midpoint.
Dude, speaking to one of the cousins, I've been getting pictures from some. She's been like, she's been deleting a lot of things on her phone.
Oh,
So she's just been like sending me like all of her depressing, like self-deprecating memes. So now my phone is just filled up with like Patrick pictures from SpongeBob. What she sent me now: female Doctor Who robs boys of role models, claims Tory MP.
what?
Shit you should care about says female Doctor Who robs boys of role models, claims Tory MP.
Where did you see
What?
that?
She found it on an Instagram page.
Who did?
One of the cousins.
Oh, she just sent it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Um, think I think there are enough people out there to be role. I don't think role models are too healthy, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's safe to get inspiration from people. Like, I don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone to see me as a role model. Fuck that shit. Like, have you seen how much I drunk on this episode alone? Like, I took 4
Dude.
shots and I had 3 cans. I know. Like, if it was like a small child is like listening to this going, I want to be like him someday. It's like, I'm sorry, kid, you're fucking dead. Okay, like if you're doing it at that age, no. Also, I find it funny how accessible like explicit content like this is. Like I would never want it to be any other way, but
Yeah.
like on Spotify, you just see an E next to it, and some guy's got like a family Spotify account. And he's just like E. It stands for everyone.
Yeah, I think you can block it though if it's family
Yeah,
account. Yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
want
pretty.
it.
Uh, can't think of the word, but like we were just speaking about Hogwarts cousin. You just get a
Yeah.
message from Hogwarts cousin. Maybe she's hacked into our channel. Who knows?
We should probably specify they ain't our cousins. They are
No,
cousins
no,
to
no,
each
they're
other.
not.
There are 2
Yeah.
people that are cousins to each other.
Yeah,
And
we try very hard not to use anyone's names.
it's really hard to
No,
because
that's not on it. It's so hard because all our stories involve so many other people.
I mean it's
And
like
then we have to find a way for each other to know what we're on about.
it's one of the things that I worry about that when we talk about these episodes is that it's like I don't want them to be like you have to have been there episodes.
Yeah.
Like we described them well enough because when I think about like the story which Jason wants to tell, and don't get me wrong, I want to tell them as well.
Lula, you on about?
That more than that, the entire thing. Like,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of other people.
Because you know me when it comes to that sort of stuff. I'm passionate about that. Like I have like a whole like I don't think I've not like ever publicly said this or even I don't know how far I've actually gone to this, but I got to the point where I've actually drafted about 4 books that I've legitimately
You have told me that you wanted to write a book.
I've drafted about four books at this point, and I've done them over the course of like the last like was it
Maybe
3
get some
4 years?
royalties if you put Tallulah in there. See,
I
I'm
don't
not
think I have
the
yet.
only one. I didn't create the Tallulah character.
That's the thing, no rights, mate. Aha. But no,
No, because how do she's literally impossible to not say her name.
Yeah.
You know,
But I came up with like this whole like headcanon for where I wanted to go, but my mind is like, but I type it out right, and
yeah.
I've got this really like if I was ever going to make put it this way, like the first story which I wrote behind it was a tragedy. It was it's fucking dark as fuck, and I wanted it to be that way.
Tragedy of Dr. Alzheimer's.
Like it was at the point where it's like, for context, we'll get to the stories in later episodes, of course. But for the context,
Like I think 3 weeks from 2 or 3 weeks from now we'll have it.
Yeah.
My story that we're doing next week.
Links to it.
I've gotten there are some issues with people in college, but they really are really easy to work around.
Good.
The only other issue with mentioning someone else, I've spoken to him, and he's more than happy to. He's listened to the podcast, and he's more than happy to mention
Awesome.
it.
Is he who I think it is?
There's no one you've met.
It's no one I met. Okay, fair enough.
It's
but yeah,
when I went on a night out with him, but it involves the. Well, I can't say it, but it
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it,
No,
it
no,
all
say
it
it,
all
say it.
ties in. It all ties in. It all ties in.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember who it's about? Who I wanted the story to be about?
No,
I'm gonna
actually,
type
it's
it. I'm
not.
gonna type it.
Okay.
Just no. I know you're gonna gasp at how the fuck, but I am going to. I have found a way
Oh,
to
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? I've never met him.
No. That's who the story's about.
Oh,
There's
right, right.
somebody
Oh, yeah, no,
else.
no, no, no. Yeah, I remember the story. I remember the story. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
how it like there's bit it goes on a night out, he comes back to mind sort of thing.
You know what? Hogwarts Girl.
Yeah.
She loves that story to pieces.
What, Cousin Hogwarts?
Yeah.
She what?
Yeah, big time.
She remembers the story, does she?
Yeah, because we both had this running gag where, like, each time you tell it, like, it got to a point where it's like, oh shit, like, you had, like, hidden details. It was
Oh
like
yeah.
unlocking shit in your brain. It was
Yeah,
great.
every time I told it more info, I would remember.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome. But
Even
yeah,
even though she was like I kind of I told her that the subject was like
yeah,
really into her.
yeah.
Yeah, she's still.
Oh, she like I'm sure I'm sure she would. She has a yeah. Her perspective on the whole that situation was is fascinating. It's like
I'd love to hear it. Hey, you should see if she wants to get on the podcast sometime.
I'll give her an ask. I'm pretty sure that I don't know actually. Maybe she is. I don't know how public she would be. She would like to be about her
Yeah.
self.
Well,
Or anything
I
like
mean,
that.
I can't imagine it.
But
But
I'll definitely give her an
if
ask. Like,
if she does,
possible.
she can be as open or not as she wants. We can you know just I mean
She would
she was
definitely be a laugh.
involved in a lot of the stories, wasn't she? Like
Yeah.
like
She would
even
definitely
in
be a laugh though.
oh yeah, fuck yeah. Like, even if we don't tell stories, definitely
Yeah.
just have a laugh. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'd be like a little fucking reunion. I swear,
Yeah.
we could talk about that 100th episode. Fucking, maybe we could get the whole fucking B team on the podcast for that.
You know what? I was thinking about that the other day. Like I was thinking, like if we what we should do is we should build up that final day
Yeah.
where we all filmed a mockumentary, and we should get everyone on board. We should get everyone so they can all tell their own stories about their own characters and ask them what they think they were doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not fussed really about the second year people, whether they're on it or not. Sorry,
Oh
people.
yeah.
But the B team, yeah. Are you still in the? Not everyone's in it. That's the thing. But there's still a B team group chat. Are you in that?
I don't think so.
Right. Well, that would make things easier.
Oh, you can add.
That was literally just for a few years afterwards. We'd all say like "Merry Christmas" in that group
Yeah,
chat, and that was it. I swear, if
it
you
got
look back,
really awkward.
if you look back for like the fucking, hold on, I'm gonna have a look now. Actually, B team.
But yeah, as I was saying before, like my interpretation of like the future of the so we keep mentioning the short film. I won't go into details, but I'll just say that like we at one point we got told to film something, and we came up with an idea that trumps every cinematic universe known to mankind. I won't mention the details of it, but we'll get to it at one point in the podcast. It will take several parts to get through because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. Just trust me, it's amazing. But anyway, my interpretation for the future of that series was fucking depressing, and I loved it. The idea that like several of the characters are like actually like taking those character traits and making them just fucking real.
Yeah.
Like the character of Doctor A, Doctor Alzheimer's, who we'll talk about at some point in the future. He's like on the verge. You know, he is.
Oh, most definitely. Like,
He is.
bro, there's something could be done there. I had thought about it when we were in college, and clearly you had as well. But
Yeah.
there was, if we took the step to take that from just a silly college idea to something serious, it could have had potential.
It could have, and I really wanted to take it there. Really did.
Me
But it
too.
is one of those things where it's like you coordinate so many people at one go.
Yeah, like
and,
it wouldn't work and probably wouldn't feel right. Like hiring people to do roles that people we know should have done. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I mean, like, if they're up for it, we've got this format now, so lots can be done in the future. Like, there's lots of potential. Like, I am good at I hope I'm good at editing this sort of stuff. So even if it was just a one-off, we could see about making it into an audio drama or something like that.
Oh, but bro, there's something. You know what I mean? Like Tallulah Reborn will happen.
Yeah, I don't want to
The
potentially
Adventures of
die.
Dr. Alzheimer's will continue.
Yeah, I'm always looking for a way to push that medium forward. And there's stories to tell. There are lots of stories to tell. I mean, it's on my YouTube channel. The full. Not,
There we go again.
I'm not plugging it, but like if you want the full experience of what we're talking about, wait a few episodes. We'll talk about it, and then I can mention that it's on my YouTube channel.
Only that last film is on your YouTube, though. That's
No,
deep.
two of them. Two of them are. We've got
what?
the one. Yeah. So we got the initial one.
Wait, which initial? Hold on, I'm gonna get your YouTube up now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do that now. Get my YouTube up. Give me them views.
It's Dusky Snow for anyone watching.
Yep,
Right.
that's me.
Dusky Snow.
So we've got double OPS, which is oops, but it's 00.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we've got that one, and then we've got This Is It, which is the big finale. You could see the
what?
length. Yeah,
I've watched them both fully. One of them's half-hour long.
yeah.
I don't. Were we all involved in that, or was that a
Yeah.
mashup made on your own?
No. So the first one, Double O Weeps, the classified files of Dr. A. Check it out on my YouTube channel. There you go. I can plug it now because we're talking about it. That was the one.
My God, yeah, I clicked on it. Oh my God, I clicked on it and it goes to fucking Tallulah on the bench, on the couch. Like, oh my God, that looks horrendous. Yeah, this was. Oh my. Oh, that was so sad doing that. Because that was like a saying goodbye to it all, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
I
what we
was
had.
so glad you kept that at least.
Yeah, well, of course I was going to upload them as well because we had double OPS, the classified files of Dr. A, which was the teleshopping one. And then we had This Is It, which was the sequel that no one asked for.
Yeah,
but
I do wish like the rest of the stuff was on there, but those two bangers and half-hour of footage is fucking.
and it contains a bit of Tallulah content in there as well. So
It does. And Steve as well. I played two characters.
yeah. Like I doubled it up. I can't remember what the logic was behind that, but
God, it's saying
that worked.
something that I look well more attractive there than I do now because I look hideous there.
Same, man. Like I look back at This Is It, and no, not even This Is It. I look back at Double O Oops, and I look back at like the beard I had, and like my get up. Yeah. Like it's long, but it's not long. It's like
just care slightly more back then, didn't we?
Yeah,
Ever so slightly.
And then it just jumps over to This Is It, and I've nearly got like a full-grown beard, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened to me?
Wow, that is incredible.
So
we are definitely running out of time now, unfortunately.
There's no such thing as running out of time, but yes, we can come to
there is for me. There is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thank you all for watching. Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
It kind of sucks that Jason left us a
Left
few
halfway
hours
through.
ago.
I was going to say halfway through, but it's not even halfway through.
No, I so hope that Craig was fucking recording all of this, or this is gonna suck
He
big
definitely was.
balls.
He definitely was.
Yeah, please. This was a bit of a strange episode, right? But
But if
please
you want
tune in
more like
next week.
this,
Yeah, if you want more like this, that's also chill. But if
we
you
will
want
be
like
candid.
more content like the other two, tune in next week. It's going back to that. It is going to be a long one, but it's a
Yeah.
banger of an episode. Do you see how? I don't know. It's not. Do you see how much my energy has gone up now? I'm speaking about fucking this compared to just speaking about that. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking yeah. Tune in next week, Thursday, 1 p.m. GMT. We're going to fuck shit up. We're telling a blast of a story.
Hell yeah.
It's mental. The story, unlike Toilet Guy, the story spans like 2 years in its entirety.
Massive.
Like this isn't like Coffee Man where it's waffle padding up a brilliant story.
Treat this as like
this is going to be hours of story on its own. This is
treat
going
this
to
as
be
like the start of like your holiday treat, right? This is your early Christmas present.
well, a Christmas present in fucking deed. Jesus Christ. You should be fucking donating £1,000 to our PayPal for this one. This is insane. It's going to be mental. So please follow us at Gentleman Bench on Twitter. Subscribe to wherever you're watching this. Leave us a good review. I beg you. Yeah. Oh, shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bench, to JD Sport, to Surfshark.
Yep.
Fuck NordVPN.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Until they sponsor us.
No, fuck that. We're with Surfshark now.
Again.
Fuck you, Nord. Fuck
No,
you,
Nord.
cunt.
We'll give you a discount on our OnlyFans.
Yeah. Shout out
Bring it back.
OnlyFans. Shout out to Magnum and Trojan. Shout out to the NHS Sperm Bank. Shout out your mum. Shout out to Jason. Gone but not forgotten.
Gone
Yeah.
but not.
Shout out to Craig, who's actually
Shout
done
out
his
to Craig.
fucking job today.
Yeah, no, right? He's actually been with us the entire time.
Yeah, and shout out to anybody that we've
Missed.
tried to avoid mentioning, but really wanted to mention today.
Absolutely. And if who knows? In the future, we might be able to get a few witnesses on the podcast.
You witnesses.
A few.
Oh, shout out Big Bench.
Shout out Big Bench.
Fuck the well. You.
Are you going to say fuck the Welsh?
No.
No.
Yeah. In a bit, people.
In a bit.
Adios.
Adios.